the brochure of this conference. We have especially invited the resource person, Dr. Shalini Rawat ma'am. Dr. Shalini Rawat ma'am, she is from Uttarakhand and she has joined our meeting. Then Dr. Bhale sir, he is from Nardurg. He has also joined the meeting. I felicitate verbally Dr. Shalini ma'am and Bhale sir on the behalf of our principal, Dr. Holambe sir, the founder president of Jai Bhagwan Seva Bhavi Sanstha, Dharmapuri, Dr. Shivaji Ravji Gutte Sahib, on the behalf of our all staff members, the Department of Botany, I welcome all of you. Now, we are going to start the program. First of all, may I request Dr. P.D. Deshmukh, the head Department of Botany. He will give the introductory speech and he will give information about the topic of the conference. May I request Dr. P.D. Deshmukh, sir, to give introductory speech.
Thank you, sir. Good morning to one and all. I am Dr. P.D. Deshmukh, Head Department of Botany. Today, I am here to deliver introductory speech. The topic which we have chosen is very useful and beneficial for farmers, environmentalists, and researchers. The natural environment on this planet supports the existence, proper growth, and development of various forms of life. The quality of our environment determines the quality of our life. We depend on the environment for food, air, water, shelter, and other necessities. There is a balanced natural system that exists between environment and the lives of human beings, plant and animals. Every human action in this modern world has a direct impact on our ecosystem, resulting in many environmental problems. Increasing demands for technologies and industries is another important factor that plays a vital role in degenerating the natural environments, same of the harmful effects of human activities on the environment. The environment are pollution, overpollution, waste disposal, climate change, global warming, and the greenhouse effect it is. So that is, the environment is no one's property to destroy. It's everyone's responsibility to protect. That is, the pest is any animal, plant, or microorganism that causes trouble, injuries, or destructions. Pesticides means chemical agents used to control or eliminate pests. Such pesticides are used to kill pests and insects which attack on crops and harm them. Pesticides work by destroying or migrating the pests. Different kinds of pesticides have been used for crop protection for centuries, which benefits the crop. However, they also impose a serious negative impact on the environment. Excessive use of pesticides may lead to the destruction of biodiversity, reduction of several terrestrial and aquatic animal and plant species. Then, organic farming is the type of farming which as animal manures, biofertilizers are used. It refers to the traditional and healthy method of farming. This type of farming is done without the use of chemical fertilizers and pesticides. It reduces soil erosion and environmental pollution. It also makes use of renewable resources. Organic food has great taste and helps us to stay healthy. Organic foods are cheaper as compared to conventional farming foods. It also maintains biodiversity and ecological balance. I request resource persons and participants to interact and come out with definite findings as Head Department of Botany. I welcome you all once again. Thank you. Yes, Mamade sir.
Thank you, Dr. Deshmukh sir. Dr. Deshmukh sir has explained the importance of topic, how the topic is important, how the topic is beneficial in present scenario. Now, I request the founder president of our college, Dr. Shivaji Rauji Gutte Sahib, who has been awarded DLIT by the University of America, Bolivia. I request Dr. Shivaji Rauji Gutte sir to give inaugural speech. I request the founder president of our college, Dr. Shivaji Rauji Gutte Sahib, who has been awarded DLIT by the University of Bolivia, and he is the founder president of Jai Bhagwan Sevabhagi Samstha Dharmapuri. I request Anna to deliver inaugural speech.
थँक यू सर. सर्वांना नमस्कार. आज आमच्या महाविद्यालयाच्या वनस्पती शास्त्र विभागाच्या तर्फे आयोजित राष्ट्रीय चर्चासत्राला देशभरातून उपस्थित असलेले सर्व संशोधक, विद्यार्थी, सर्व प्राध्यापक मित्र, या सर्वांचा मी जय भगवान सेवाभावी संस्था संचलित धर्मापुरी अध्यक्ष या नात्याने मी आपल्या सर्वांचं या राष्ट्रीय चर्चासत्रामध्ये प्रथमतः स्वागत करतो. या माझ्या महाविद्यालयातील वनस्पतीशास्त्र विभागातील कार्यरत असलेले विभाग प्रमुख डॉक्टर श्री डी देशमुख, डॉक्टर शीला शिंदेजी, डॉक्टर शंकर सानप यांचे मी खरोखरच अभिनंदन करतो, कारण या चर्चासत्राचा विषयच खूप अत्यंत महत्वाचा असा आहे. कारण कीटकनाशकाचा पर्यावरणावर होणारा परिणाम आणि सेंद्रिय शेतीचे फायदे हा विषय आजच्या या चर्चासत्राचा आहे. या कृषीप्रधान देशामध्ये शेतकरी जगला तर राष्ट्र जगणार आहे. आणि या वरिष्ठ महाविद्यालयाच्या माध्यमातून शिक्षण देण्याचे काम आपण करत आहोत. याच सोबत आपण जर आपल्या या माध्यमातून शेतकऱ्यांना जर आपल्या ज्ञानाचा खूप मोठ्या प्रमाणावर जर उपयोग करून आपण जर दिला तर नक्कीच या देशातला बळीराजा आणखी यापेक्षा जास्त उत्पन्न काढून या देशाची मान या जगाच्या पाठीवर उंचावू शकतो. कारण त्याच्याकडं बळीराजाला खूप मोठ्या संकटांना दरवर्षी तोंड द्यावं लागत आहे. तर या सर्व गोष्टीचा जर आपण विचार केला तर या चर्चा क्षेत्राच्या माध्यमातून आपण शेतकऱ्यांना या बाबतीतून आणखी काही करू शकतो का, काही संशोधन करू शकतो का, किंवा तज्ञ मंडळीकडून काय आपण शोध घेऊ शकतो का, अशा प्रकारचे चर्चासत्र आयोजित करून या बळीराजाला अशा या चर्चासत्राच्या माध्यमातून आपण खूप चांगल्या प्रमाणामध्ये त्यांच्याशी संवाद करून आपण याच्यातून मार्ग काढू शकाल अशी अपेक्षा आपल्याकडून सगळ्याकडून व्यक्त करतो. या कार्यक्रमासाठी प्रमुख वक्त्या म्हणून उत्तराखंडच्या डॉक्टर शालिनी रावत मॅडम यांना पण निमंत्रित करण्यात आले आहे. मी त्यांचं पण या ठिकाणी पुनश्च एकदा स्वागत करतो महाविद्यालयातर्फे. तसेच आर्ट, कॉमर्स, सायन्सचे कॉलेज नळदुर्गचे प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर उद्धवजी भाले सर यांचे पण मी मनपूर्वक स्वागत करतो. आणि त्याचबरोबर संपूर्ण देशभरातून ऑनलाईन जोडलेले सर्व सहभागी असलेले संशोधक यांचं मी परत एकदा पुनश्च स्वागत करून या चर्चासत्राचं उद्घाटन झालं असं मी जाहीर करतो. धन्यवाद.
Thank you, respected Anna. You are always behind. You always support us to take such events. Thank you for that. Now I will move forward. Today we are fortunate to have a very intellectual and very talented speaker with us. That is Dr. Shalini Rawat ma'am. She is assistant professor in botany at Pandit Lalit Mohan Sharma Rishikesh campus, Ridev Suman University, Uttarakhand. She has joined our meeting from Uttarakhand. And we are very fortunate, we are very lucky to have her presence with us. She will deliver lecture on mycorrhizal status in organic versus conventional field crops, a case study. May I request Dr. Sheila Shinde, ma'am, who is the assistant professor in the Department of Botany at our college, to give brief introduction of Dr. Shalini Rawat, ma'am. She will introduce the main speaker of our. She will give brief introduction of our keynote addresser, Dr. Shalini Rawat, ma'am. Shinde, ma'am.
Thank you, Mamarge sir. Good morning to everyone. A very great and colorful morning to all of you. Welcome to the most amazing and helpful National E-Conference. Myself, Dr. Sheila Yadav Shinde, Assistant Professor in Botany, Late Shankara Gutte, Gramin Arts, Commerce and Science College, Dharmapuri. Respected faculty members, resource persons, our patrons, and research scholars, today is the big and the most memorable day for us. National E-Conference on Pesticidal Impact on Environment and Benefits of Organic Farming are organized by Department of Botany in association with Internal Quality Assurance Cell, IQC, of our college. It gives me an immense pleasure to introduce today's resource person and my friend, Dr. Shalini Rawat. Dr. Shalini Rawat is presently associated with Pandit Lalit Mohan Sharma, Rishikesh Campus, Sridev Suman State University, Uttarakhand, as an assistant professor in botany. She has about 25 years of research experience. She received her doctorate degree from India's most premier university on bamboo endomycorrhiza. She is the recipient of CSR, UGC, JRF and SRF. She has successfully completed one research project sponsored by DSP on the evaluation of microbial status in organic farming. She has published about 50 research articles in national and international journals and different seminar proceedings. She had written so many textbooks which are useful for graduate and postgraduate students assigned by Uttarakhand Open University time to time. She is life member of many academic societies. Thank you.
Okay. Should I speak, sir? Should I start my...
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Good morning, all of you. Thank you. Is my voice is audible to all of you, sir? Is my voice audible? Okay. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Sheila, for such a nice introduction. Respected Honorable Shivaji Rao Gutte Sahib President, Jai Bhavani, Jai Bhagwan, Seva Bhavi Sanstha, Dharmapuri, Principal Dr. Holambe, ASC College, Convener Dr. Sheila Shinde, Co-Convener Dr. Shankar Salab, Organizing Secretary Dr. Deshmukh, and all teaching fraternity from ASC College, Dharmapuri, and from other colleges joined to this e-conference. Dear research scholars and my dear students. First of all, I would like to extend my thanks to ASC College and especially Dr. Sheila Shinde for providing me such an opportunity. Should I share my screen, sir? Sir, please put me in presenter mode, sir. Pandurang sir, please put me on presenter mode so that I can present my presentation. Is my voice audible to you? Sure.
ये अरे ये स्क्रीन में दिख रहा है ये नहीं दिख रहा स्लाइड्स को फुल करो ऊपर से
Is my presentation is visible, sir? Is my presentation visible, sir? सर मेरा प्रेजेंटेशन आप लोगों को दिख रहा है? Dr. Sheila, can you?
Yes, ma'am. You are visible and audible.
Okay,
please,
okay, sir. Okay,
sorry
sir.
for the disturbance. Yes, you are audible as well as visible.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you very much, sir. Okay, today I will talk about soil health with endomycorrhizal perspective. You all of aware that unmanaged and over exploitation of our land results 30 to 40% barren land. And this presentation, this e-conference is very relevant regarding this perspective, that it focuses mainly on the soil health with regard to the overuse of pesticides and other chemicals which are the result of green revolution. Before starting this presentation, I would like to speak about the nowadays economic crisis of our neighboring country, Sri Lanka. And one of the major reasons of this Sri Lanka's government, Sri Lanka's crisis is the government's overnight declaration of switching from chemical agriculture system to organic agriculture, which results into drastic slowdown in agriculture output. So my topic is not exactly regarding the pesticide use, but it was the part of my research project, which I did in around 2010. And Dr. Sheila offered me this talk. Then I again reframed it according to the present demand. So my topic, I will talk about the mycorrhizal perspective of organic farming and compare it with the conventional farming. The topic of my presentation is a comparative account of organic and chemical agriculture with microbial angle. In my project, I considered various aspects of microbial association, but in this presentation, I considered especially on the mycorrhizal aspect. This study was part of my DST sponsored project under WOSB scheme, in which we took two types of farm. You can see this is the picture of the organic farm. Here, first of all, I would like to speak about what type of farm I have selected. One type of farm is typically chemical oriented, in which chemically oriented, you can say here in my presentation, I use the word conventional. It should be understood like chemical agriculture, in which excessive use of NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, pesticides, herbicides, and all other measures which are suggested in the Green Revolution. The Green Revolution, which is the revolution in agriculture field during 1960s all over the world, and our country was one of it. No doubt, Green Revolution enhances the agricultural production 2 to 3 times and which was at that time the need of our society. But the drawbacks are now seen in the form of barren land, especially of Punjab and Haryana agricultural land, which is reaching to the salinity level. The other form I have selected for my study was the adjacent village which adopted the organic farming system. Previously, it was the chemical field, but that they adopted, they switch over to the organic form. They didn't use chemical fertilizer. They only use the cow dung and vermicompost, and no pesticides, no chemicals. Now we can see that this form belongs to Navdhanya, the world famous form of Dr. Vandana Shiva, and she has one unit there in Dehradun region. Now, I would start my presentation. The objective of my project was basically under my project, the work assigned to me for that project was collection of soil and root sample from rhizosphere of different plants for mycorrhizal as well as other microbial study. The microbial study part I am omitting here because I focuses mainly on the mycorrhizal part. That is different plant species such as herbs, shrubs, trees. Herbs considering mainly the cereals, pulses, vegetables. Shrubs are some medicine plant, and trees are the tree present in and around that farm, especially focusing on bamboo, shisham, which are the local or indigenous plant of that particular area. Growing in conventional organic. Organic means the form which is shift over past 15 years. And conventional situation. Conventional situation here means the chemical use of the chemical uses of the fertilizers and pesticides. Second objective of my study is to isolation of predominant beneficial microbes. Beneficial microbes such as Azotobacter, Rhizobium, mycorrhizae, phosphate solubilizers. Another objective of my study is the quantification of microbial biomass. And the purpose of my project is to study the physiochemical property of soil. So this portion was done in the in the paid laboratory of the Dehradun, which has its worth. And last objective of my study is to investigation of linkage between microbial profile and adaptive factor. By this study, I want to know about the soil health, whether is there any difference between the conventional form or organic form soil health or mycorrhizal status or other microbial status. So before going into the results and observation part, first of all, I would like to explain about the organic agriculture. You all people are must aware with what is organic agriculture. Organic agriculture, अगर मैं बात करूं organic agriculture की, तो ये कोई साइंटिफिकली इट इज न्यू टर्म, लेकिन हम जो भारतीय करते आ रहे थे ग्रीन रेवोल्यूशन से पहले वो यही एग्रीकल्चर था, और उसी को ही आज हम फिर से यूज करना चाह रहे हैं जब हमने अपनी सॉइल को इतना डिग्रेड कर लिया है. तो ऑर्गेनिक एग्रीकल्चर एक तरह का इज अ प्रोडक्शन सिस्टम विच अवॉइड्स or largely excludes the use of synthetic compounded fertilizer, pesticides, growth regulators, livestock, feed additives. ग्रीन रेवोल्यूशन से पहले हम सभी जो भारतीय हमारी जो कृषि व्यवस्था थी वो इसी पर आधारित थी और हम लोग इसी को यूज करते थे. हर एक घर में पशु होते थे, उसी का जो खाद है, काउडंग है, उसको ही हम खेत में डालते थे. किसान जो छोटे से छोटा किसान था वो भी अपनी खेती कर रहा होता था, उसका भरण पोषण उसी से होता था, उसका जो लाइव स्टॉक था वो उसी पे डिपेंडेंट था. जो उससे बचा हुआ रेजिड्यू है, क्रॉप से बचा हुआ रेजिड्यू था, वो उसके लाइव स्टॉक उसके जानवर यूज कर रहे थे. और इस तरह से कहीं पर उसको किन्हीं कर्ज लेने की जरूरत नहीं थी, पूरा नेचर से एक तरह से बिल्कुल हमारा रिलेशन था और सिस्टमैटिक वे में, या हम कह रहे हैं कि जो सस्टेनेबल एग्रीकल्चर था वो हम पहले यूज कर रहे हैं। तो उसी चीज को आज जो यूरोपियन साइंटिस्ट हैं वो बोलते हैं, तब हमें समझ में आता है, लाइक लैम्किन 1990 की डेफिनेशन है, टू द मैक्सिमम एक्सटेंट feasible, organic farming system relies on crop rotations, crop residues, animal manure, legumes, green manure of farming agriculture waste, organic waste. Agriculture waste means organic waste, and aspect of biological waste to maintain soil productivity and tilth to supply plant nutrient and to control insects, weeds and other pests. तो जहां हमें इस डेफिनेशन से पता चल रहा है, जो कि बहुत ज्यादा रेलेवेंट है आपके इस ई कॉन्फ्रेंस के टॉपिक से, जहां पर आप बेसिकली फोकस कर रहे हैं किस तरह से पेस्टिसाइड्स और जो इंसेक्टिसाइड का जो यूज है वो किस तरह से हमारी सॉइल को, हमको प्रोडक्शन इस समय बहुत अच्छा मिल रहा है, लेकिन आने वाले समय में क्या हम अपने आने वाली जनरेशन के लिए क्या सॉइल को इस तरह से छोड़ेंगे कि वो एग्रीकल्चरली अच्छा प्रोडक्शन दे सके या हेल्दी प्रोडक्शन दे सके। अपेरेंटली हमें लग रहा है कि प्रोडक्शन बहुत अच्छा है, वेरी गुड, बट अल्टीमेटली इट रिजल्ट्स इनटू serious diseases like diabetes and diseases related with kidney stones and other. जो हम एग्रीकल्चर यूज कर रहे थे, ऑर्गेनिक एग्रीकल्चर, जो हम इतनी डेफिनेशन दे रहे हैं और बाहर के लोग हमें समझा रहे हैं कि ऑर्गेनिक एग्रीकल्चर क्या है या सस्टेनेबल एग्रीकल्चर क्या है, ये चीज तो हमारे परंपरा थी हमारी एग्रीकल्चर की, कि हम इसी चीज को यूज कर रहे थे। जैसे मैंने अभी आपको बताया कि जो मैंने दूसरा फॉर्म यूज किया है नवधान्य, जिसको कह रहे हैं, नवधान्य शब्द का जो मतलब ही है, जो डॉक्टर वंदना शिवा का एक रिप्यूटेड फॉर्म था, इस फॉर्म का कॉन्सेप्ट ये था, नव मीन्स 9, धान्य मतलब 9 तरह के अनाज। जब हम एक साथ ही 9 तरह के अनाज उगा रहे हैं, उसको कल्टीवेट कर रहे हैं, तो जो हम कह रहे हैं कि मिक्स फार्मिंग सिस्टम, जहां पर कि हम पैथोजन को भी कंट्रोल कर रहे हैं। अगर सपोज करो डिजीज किसी एक चीज में आ रही है, तो उसको अपने आप ही चेक, जो दूसरा डिजीज जो उसका रूट सिस्टम है या उसका शूट सिस्टम है, अपने आप ही उस पैथोजन को कंट्रोल करने का काम कर रहे हैं। वही डेफिनेशन आज हम ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग के डेफिनेशन में देख। तो जो स्विच करने का जो रीजन था उनका वो यही था, भले ही उनके फॉर्म में, आपको एक चीज मैं शेयर करना चाहती हूँ, भले ही उनके फॉर्म में उन्होंने भी शुरू में ये जो 10 to 15 ईयर जब उन्होंने स्विच ओवर किया तो बहुत अच्छा प्रोडक्शन नहीं था, बट इट इज ऑर्गेनिक। और ऑर्गेनिक के नाम पे आज हम लोग जो समझ आ रहा है, या जो हम मेट्रो सिटीज में, आपके भी शायद महाराष्ट्र में इस तरह से हो कि ऑर्गेनिक का जो प्रोडक्शन है भले ही लो रहता है, बट जो उसकी कीमत है वो 2.5 से 3 गुना अधिक रहती है। तो वही चीज हम फिर से समझने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं और फिर से उसकी तरफ स्विच ओवर कर रहे हैं। तो क्या ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग आज भी इतना रेलेवेंट है, या हमारी इतनी बढ़ती हुई पॉपुलेशन की जो हंगर को सेटिस्फाई करने के लिए क्या यही हमारे पास एक विकल्प होना चाहिए, या हमें कुछ और करना चाहिए, उसका साइंटिफिक तरीका और क्या हो सकता है, यही हमारा ये कॉन्फ्रेंस का इसका फोकस है। नाउ द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड, ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग को अगर हम देखें, ये जो स्टैंडर्ड डेफिनेशन अभी हमने लैम्किन की देखी, उसके बाद अगर हम देखें तो अगर हम मेन इसके फोकस देखें इस ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग का, तो यहाँ पर हम देखते हैं कि हमारा जो फोकस है वो क्या है, सस्टेनेबल यूज ऑफ लोकल रिसोर्सेज। मेन जो है, जो लोकल रिसोर्सेज, वहीं का जो एग्रीकल्चर प्रोडक्शन है वही यूज होना चाहिए, है ना। देन द सेकेंड इज मिनिमल यूज ऑफ परचेज। आज से पहले 1960s से पहले जब हम ग्रीन रेवोल्यूशन वाली उसमें नहीं आए थे, तो हम जो था किसान वही जो अपना जो प्रोडक्शन था उसी को यूज कर रहा था और उसी को ही आपस में शेयरिंग करके, जिसको हम कहते हैं ना कि आपने ये प्रोडक्शन किया वो दूसरे को दिया और दूसरे का प्रोडक्शन हमने लिया। हमें कहीं भी किसी जो कमर्शियलाइजेशन था या जो बाजारीकरण आज हो रहा है, जो इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन आज हो रहा है, उस पर हमें डिपेंडेंट रहने की जरूरत नहीं थी। Another important aspect of organic farming, that is ensuring the biological function of soil, water, nutrient, humus content. This is the main criteria of organic farming. No doubt, green revolution enhances the production 2 to 3 times, but the real situation of today's India, especially India, that or all over the world, that the soil is depleting. Soil is turning into saline land. It is not as much fertile as it was previously. Another important aspect of organic farming is maintaining a diversity of plant and animal species. this is the most important aspect of biodiversity. The human thought that we are alone in this universe and we have to write alone. But the organic farming is realization that the diversity is important. Diversity of plant as well as animal. The soil is not a dead system. Soil is actually a living system in which the microflora and microfauna coordinate and which results into good production, not only in quantity but in quality. Another aspect of organic farming is creating an attractive overall landscape which gives satisfaction to local. जो मैं आपको बार बार कह रही हूँ कि ऑर्गेनिक ग्रीन रेवोल्यूशन से पहले हर छोटे से छोटा किसान खुश था, वो अपने उसके पास कुछ लाइव स्टॉक था, 1-2 लाइव स्टॉक, लेकिन उसके लिए पूरा होता था, उसको किसी ऐसी उसमें नहीं पड़ना पड़ता था कि बिल्कुल वो डिपेंडेंसी वो मुंह देखे किसी का। लेकिन जो ग्रीन रेवोल्यूशन ने उस चीज को हटा दिया है, जो मार्जिनलाइज जो फार्मर्स थे वो आज बिल्कुल हाशिए पे आ चुके हैं, है ना। तो क्या हमें फिर से उस तरफ स्विच ओवर करना चाहिए? क्या ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग ही हमारा अल्टरनेट है? इसको ही हम देखें। नाउ द जितना हमने अभी तक डिस्कस किया है, द थिंग्स वी डिस्कस्ड गेट दैट व्हाट आर द बेसिस ऑफ ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग, जो हम इतना फोकस कर रहे हैं, दैट द रिटर्न ऑफ ऑर्गेनिक मैटर टू द सॉइल, द मेन फोकस दैट इट शुड बी द इम्पोर्टेंट पॉइंट दैट द रिटर्न द ऑर्गेनिक मैटर टू द सॉइल। जो हमने लिया है, पूरा जो लाइफ है, हम अगर देखें तो रिसाइकिल है, हमारी अर्थ भी हर चीज का साइकिल है। देयर आर साइकिल ऑफ कार्बन, नाइट्रोजन एंड ऑल अदर थिंग। तो हमने जो लेना है वही वापस इस सॉइल को पहुंचाना है। तो इट इज द मेन फोकस ऑफ ऑर्गेनिक मैटर, दैट द रिटर्न ऑफ ऑर्गेनिक मैटर टू द सॉइल एज द बेसिस ऑफ परमानेंट सॉइल फर्टिलिटी। हमें फॉर अ टाइम बीइंग फर्टिलिटी को नहीं देखना है कि हमने एक्सेसिव यूज नाइट्रोजन, फास्फोरस, पोटेशियम, पेस्टिसाइड और इन केमिकल्स का कर लिया और हमें प्रोडक्शन उसी समय मिल गया। वो प्रोडक्शन जो था वो केवल 10 साल का ही एक तरह से हमारे लिए इल्यूजन था। बट आज जो हम सिचुएशन देख रहे हैं, क्या हम उस सॉइल को, जो कि सॉइल अगर ऑल ऑफ यू आर स्टूडेंट ऑफ लाइफ साइंसेज और आप लोगों को पता ही होगा कि अगर 1 मिलीमीटर सॉइल की थिकनेस है तो उसको बनने में लगभग हजारों साल लग रहे हैं। जो वेदरिंग प्रोसेस और जो प्रोसेस होता है, वही सॉइल हमने बिल्कुल आज की डेट में ड्यू टू एक्सेसिव यूज ऑफ दीज केमिकल्स, फर्टिलाइजर्स, हमने आज उसको बैरन बना दिया है, या हमने इतना डिफॉरेस्टेशन कर दिया है, या अपनी लालच की वजह से पूरे जंगलों को काट दिया है कि जो ऊपर का फर्टाइल सॉइल है वो तो बिल्कुल खत्म हो गया, और जो सॉइल हमारे पास लैंड के फॉर्म में भी अवेलेबल था उसको भी हम पूरा बैरन किए जा रहे हैं एक्सेसिव केमिकल का यूज करके। एंड द सेकेंड इंपॉर्टेंट बेसिक्स ऑफ द ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग इज यूज ऑफ ऑर्गेनिक्स। क्यों सॉइल के लिए हेल्दी है ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग? दैट बिकॉज इट हैज द ऑर्गेनिक्स। ऑर्गेनिक्स मीन्स द प्लांट प्रोडक्ट और एनिमल प्रोडक्ट लाइक क्रॉप्स रेजिड्यू, एनिमल एंड ग्रीन मैन्यूर। यहाँ पर हम बेसिक फोकस जो करना चाहेंगे, जो हमारा जो टॉपिक है माइकोराइजा। तो माइकोराइजा ये क्या है? एक तरह का एसोसिएशन है जो कि एक तरह का मतलब हजारों, जब हमारे अर्थ पे प्लांट आए एग्जिस्टेंस में, तो किस तरह से उनके बीच में कोऑर्डिनेशन या सिम्बायोसिस हुआ, किस तरह से उन्होंने अपने को सर्वाइवलशिप की तरफ बढ़ाया, कि वो एसोसिएशन जो हम यूज करते आ रहे हैं, फॉस्फेट और रूट का एसोसिएशन, दैट इज माइकोराइजा। या नाइट्रोजन और लेग्यूम्स के नोड्यूल का एसोसिएशन, दैट इज इन अ फॉर्म ऑफ अ राइजोबियम। तो ऑल थिंग्स आर ऑर्गेनिक्स, ग्रीन मैन्यूर्स of farm, organic waste and legumes, etc. So these are the some basis of organic farming. The another important thing is just a moment, it is is my presentation is visible to all of you?
Yes ma'am.
Yes ma'am. Yes ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Now जब हम इतनी बात कर रहे हैं ऑर्गेनिक फार्म की, और आज हम कह रहे हैं कि ग्रीन रेवोल्यूशन से इसको कंपेयर करके देख रहे हैं, तो थोड़ा बहुत हम ग्रीन रेवोल्यूशन के बारे में भी समझे। ग्रीन रेवोल्यूशन, हरित क्रांति जिसे कहा गया, और जो 1960s में थ्रू आउट द वर्ल्ड यूज किया गया, उस समय जो वर्ल्ड की हंगर थी, और इंडिया ने भी उसको बहुत अच्छे से इम्प्लीमेंट किया। हमारे डॉक्टर MS स्वामीनाथन, जो पायनियर वर्कर थे, उनका जो इंटेंशन था वो ये नहीं था कि हम अपनी सॉइल को बैरन करें। उनका जो इंटेंशन था हमारी जो इतनी बढ़ती हुई पॉपुलेशन थी, जो पॉवर्टी थी, उसको ओवरकम करना। और जो ग्रीन रेवोल्यूशन था, आज की डेट में अगर हम इसका थोड़ा बहुत अगर बेनिफिट हमें हुआ था, तो हम इसको देख भी रहे हैं कि इसका जो ड्रॉबैक था या इसके जो डीमेरिट्स थे वो आज हमारे सामने आ रहे हैं। तो ग्रीन रेवोल्यूशन व्हाट एक्चुअली इट वाज, थोड़ा बहुत मैं इस पर फोकस करना चाहूंगी। द ग्रीन रेवोल्यूशन इज एक्चुअली, जो आज हम रियलाइज कर रहे हैं, इट इज अ गेम ऑफ हाई एनर्जी इनपुट use, which basically focuses the use of improved crop varieties, high yielding varieties. The main point of this discussion that before green revolution, the Indian farmer uses many cereals, pulses, and all other things like jowar, bajra. In our state, like mandwa, jhangura, finger millet, pearl millet, etc., which do not require any such irrigation or other fertilizer or proper care. But the green revolution, which is the game of high energy input, it focuses basically on some cereals like wheat, rice, maize, and only some pulses, some vegetables. And for that, there are some crop improvement or plant breeding. If you remember the time of green revolution phase, there was many development in the field of plant breeding research, which produces high yielding varieties, high yielding crop varieties. These are not high yielding variety. These are actually high consuming variety of chemical fertilizers. Because they are using high amount of chemical fertilizers, they need water or irrigation and all other things. Then application of high energy input of fertilizers and pesticides, and that's why they produce high amount. This is the thing we are now realizing, that they are actually high yielding variety, but they are also consuming the high energy in form of fertilizers, irrigation, and all inputs. Because they are high yielding variety, they consume high amount of fertilizers. That's why they also require frequent irrigation. And most of the dam construction and all other construction, road construction, that iron industry, all was set up in that course of time. But there are some drawbacks of green revolution, which we are now realizing, that this green revolution no doubt satisfy the hunger of our people, our country people, or world's people. The production no doubt increases 2 or 3 times in 10 to 15 years. But now the situation we all know. The drawback of green revolution is the reduction of natural fertility of soil. This scene we can see in case of Punjab and Haryana, where these are the state which maximum uses the green revolution implementations. Now, the second aspect of the drawback of green revolution is that there are diminishing return on input. Like farmers, first of all, using the crop residue to return soil nutrient to the soil. But nowadays you must be listening about the parali burning and all other issues which enhances the air pollution, especially in Delhi NCR region. Another aspect is indiscriminate killing of useful insect. While we are using pesticides, insecticides, fungicides, this use kills the useful insect which are useful in pollination and the insects which are helpful to us. Another microorganism and predators. These are the affected world due to green revolution ill effect. Breeding more virulent and resistant species of pests. Using of these pesticides, insecticides, herbicides results in more virulent and resistant species of pests. This situation is now, we are now facing these situations. Reducing genetic diversity of plant species. like I have already mentioned that we focus is only some crops and vegetables, which reduces the genetic diversity. Our main focus in green revolution is to enhance the growth of that particular plant species and neglecting the other, while uh, the ecosystem is coordinated. Ecosystem is a coordinated way, not a unique one. Pollution which with toxic chemicals from agrochemicals and their production units. So, because the green revolution crop, especially wheat, rice, maize, and some vegetables, they need fertilizers, and these fertilizers need certain industry for production of fertilizers, and this fertilizer industry results in the increase of pollution like air pollution, water pollution, etc. Poisoning of food with highly toxic pesticide and residue. These are some ill effects of green revolution. So इतना सब समझने के बाद हम एक निष्कर्ष पर पहुंचते हैं. द कोर ऑफ ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग इज दैट द सॉइल इज लिविंग सिस्टम. सॉइल ऐसा सिस्टम नहीं है जो हमने इतना कर लिया पिछले इतने सालों में, प्रोडक्शन भी ले लिया और उसका एडवर्स इफेक्ट भी ले लिया. तो हमको अब ये चीज समझ जानी चाहिए कि सॉइल इज नॉट अ डेड सिस्टम, इट इज लिविंग सिस्टम दैट डेवलप द एक्टिविटीज ऑफ बेनिफिशियल ऑर्गेनिज्म. हमें कोऑर्डिनेटेड वे में चलना पड़ेगा. हमें ये नहीं है कि हमें इंस्टेंटली बहुत अच्छा गेन करना है. हमें थोड़ा बहुत अगर हमें नेगेटिव भी एस्पेक्ट की तरफ जाना पड़े, लेकिन लॉन्ग टर्म के लिए वो हमारे लिए बेनिफिशियल होगा. एंड दिस डेफिनेशन वाज गिवन बाय लैम्किन 1990, जो हम फिर से पढ़ रहे हैं, जबकि ये जो चीज है ये हम हमारे कल्चर में ही है. एंड व्हाई द ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग इज नीड to produce food of high nutritional quality in the sufficient quantity. These are some need of organic farming. We are again switching over towards organic farming to work with natural system rather than seeking to dominate them. हमें ये नहीं करना चाहिए जो आप अभी तक हम कर रहे हैं. हमें आज ये चाहे हम कहें कि इन्वायरमेंटल साइंसेस पढ़ने की जरूरत है, या हमें इस तरह से फिर से ऑर्गेनिक एग्रीकल्चर की तरफ जाना है या सस्टेनेबल एग्रीकल्चर की तरफ जाना है. ये किस वजह से? बिकॉज ऑफ द ह्यूमन ओवर एक्सप्लॉयटेशन, या हमारे जो ग्रीडी नेचर की वजह से. तो हमें क्या करके चलना पड़ेगा? वी वर्क विद नेचुरल सिस्टम रादर देन सीकिंग द डोमिनेट देम. हमें ये नहीं समझना है कि वी आर द ओनली ए पर्सन इन दिस यूनिवर्स. हमें कोऑर्डिनेशन बना के चलना पड़ेगा, चाहे वो पेस्ट हो, चाहे वो माइक्रोब्स हो, चाहे वो अदर एनिमल्स हो. तभी हमारा सर्वाइवल पॉसिबल है. To encourage and enhance the biological cycles with farming system involving microorganisms, soil flora and fauna, plants and animals. इन चीजों को हमें बायोलॉजिकल साइकिल, नाइट्रोजन साइकिल, कार्बन साइकिल, हमें बिल्कुल इंस्टेंट फास्ट फूड की तरह हमें चीज को नहीं लेना है. हमने सॉइल को भी उसी तरह से ट्रीट किया फास्ट फूड. हमें सॉइल को स्लो एंड जो उसका हेल्दी प्रोसेस है उससे यूटिलाइजेशन लेना है. टू मेंटेन एंड इंक्रीज लॉन्ग टर्म फर्टिलिटी ऑफ सॉइल, ये हमें इंक्रीज करके रखना है. टू सी एज फार एज पॉसिबल रिन्यूएबल रिसोर्सेज इन लोकली ऑर्गेनाइज्ड एग्रीकल्चर सिस्टम. जो चीज जहां पैदा हो रही है, हम अननेसेसरी हम ये क्यों कोशिश करें कि जो चीज का प्रोडक्शन अगर हिमाचल में सेब लग रहा है तो हमें वहां आम लगाने की आवश्यकता नहीं करनी चाहिए. कोशिश करनी चाहिए जो चीज जहां है वहीं पर अपना बेस्ट प्रोडक्शन हो. जितना जो नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज है उसका ही यूज हो, उसी से हम बेनिफिटेड हों और उसी से ही हम अपने को सेटिस्फाई रखें या अदर पॉलिसीज अपनाएं. तो ऑर्गेनिक एग्रीकल्चर की हमने इतनी बात कर ली, तो एडवांटेजेस इसके देख लेते हैं. प्रोड्यूस ऑप्टिमल कंडीशंस इन सॉइल फॉर हाई यील्ड एंड गुड क्वालिटी क्रॉप. ऑर्गेनिक एग्रीकल्चर अगर हम इसको पूरा समझे तो ये सॉइल के लिए इट इज गिविंग हाई यील्ड एंड गुड क्वालिटी. हाई यील्ड, द पॉइंट हाई यील्ड इज quantitatively it is not high yield, but qualitatively or in long term perspective it is high yield of quality crops. Improve plant growth and physiological activities in long term. Improve soil physical and chemical properties. Reduce the need of purchased input. Restore the pH of soil. It is most important thing that nowadays most of the soil are moving towards this salinity level. So this organic farming, and as I have already mentioned that the main focus of world scientists is toward the maintaining the soil fertility to restore. So this organic farming restores the pH of soil so that the good microflora and good microfauna coordinate with each other and results in good soil health. Healthy and nutritionally superior food for man and animal. Plants become more resistant to disease and insect. It is in a long term. These things, the more resistant and disease and pest resistant, it is in a long term perspective. More consumer demand as they are toxic. जैसे हम सभी लोगों को पता है कि जो ऑर्गेनिक क्रॉप्स रहती है उनकी जो कीमत रहती है वो अब फिर से हम लोग उसकी तरफ स्विच कर रहे हैं कि द डिमांड जो है उसकी हम 2-3 गुना, अगर कोई पंपकिन हमें 20 रुपए किलो मिल रहा है तो हम उसके 80 रुपए किलो, अगर आप रिमोट, मैं अपने उत्तराखंड की बात करती हूँ तो जो गांव के इलाके रहते हैं, रिमोट एरियाज रहते हैं, तो वही वो चीज आपको 80-90 रुपए किलो मिलेगी क्योंकि उसको हम ऑर्गेनिक एग्रीकल्चर नाम से करते हैं। अब लोग उसको ले भी रहे हैं क्योंकि हम इतना जब हेल्थ बेनिफिट उस पर देख रहे हैं जो लॉन्ग टर्म के लिए हमारे लिए अच्छा है, और उसका जो आपको जो डिफरेंस पता चलेगा वो आपको खाने से भी पता चलेगा, और मोर ओवर ये जो है ये हमारे लिए लॉन्ग टर्म के लिए भी हमारी हेल्थ के लिए अच्छा है। रिड्यूस बायोमैग्निफिकेशन, द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग, बायोमैग्निफिकेशन को ये रिड्यूस कर रहे हैं। रीजनरेट डिग्रेडेड एरियाज, जो सॉइल हेल्थ के पर्सपेक्टिव में जो हम बात कर रहे हैं, ये दिस टॉपिक इज of utmost important nowadays, that the different governments are now moving towards the regeneration of the degraded areas, which we barren due to excessive use of chemical fertilizers and pesticides. The most important thing from social aspect, that the organic farming system secure the income of the each and every group of the society due to diversification of, जो मैं आपसे पहले कह रही हूँ, जो लोकल प्रोडक्शन जहां ज्यादा हो रहा है, बाजरा हो रहा है या हम मंडुआ, झंगोरा, फिंगर मिलेट और वर्ल्ड मिलेट अगर हम अपने उत्तराखंड के उसमें करें, तो अगर वो उसका प्रोडक्शन कर रहा है और कंज्यूमर उसको मिल जा रहा है तो वही उसका प्रोडक्शन अच्छा हो। तो ये कुछ एस्पेक्ट थे जो मैं आप लोगों के साथ शेयर करना चाह रही थी अपने प्रेजेंटेशन से पहले, अपनी फाइंडिंग से पहले। तो अगर हम एक कंपैरेटिव वे में इसको देखें, ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग एंड कन्वेंशनल फार्मिंग, दैट ecological point of view say it is organic farming is ecologically oriented. It include all the ecological aspect of our soil. Second aspect of the organic farming, that the economic aspect, though it is not such yield productive, but in long term or in with respect to health and other benefits, it is economic also. While the conventional farming covers only the economic orientation, its main motto is to produce more and more, whether it is nutritional or nutritionally healthy or not. While speaking about the production aspect of organic farming, it cycles the nutrients within the farm. Weed control by crop rotation, pest control based on non-polluting substance, housing of livestock for production and health. While in conventional farming, there is supplementing nutrients. We are inputting the nutrients in the form of high dose fertilizers for high yielding varieties, weed control by herbicides, pest control by pesticides, livestock really combined. Here, there is no scenario of livestock. The all function is done by machinery and all other things. Coming to the mode of influencing life process, the organic farming production is integrated into the environment, balanced condition of plants and animals, while in conventional farming, emancipation of enterprises. Here, the most important thing that because of green revolution, only the rich farmer become richer, while the poor farmer become poorer and poorer. And nowadays, he switched over from agriculture to other sector. That's why affecting its economic health also. Emancipation of enterprises from their environment by chemical and technical manipulation, excessive fertilization and overdose of pesticides. Now, हमने इतनी बातें डिस्कस कर ली ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग और कन्वेंशनल फार्मिंग की, फिर भी कुछ इश्यूज रह जाते हैं। और वो इश्यूज क्या हैं? क्या डू प्लांट्स नीड ऑर्गेनिक मैटर? जब हमने कहा ग्रीन रेवोल्यूशन ने इतना प्रोडक्शन किया, 2 से 3 गुना कर दिया, तो क्या एक्चुअली में प्लांट को ऑर्गेनिक मैटर की आवश्यकता है? हाँ, है आवश्यकता। सब्स्टिट्यूट्स आर अवेलेबल बट इट इज इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर मैक्सिमम yield as well as soil quality. Yes, plant need organic matter, but they should be organic. They should not be fertilized or synthesized one, because soil is a living system. सॉइल को हमें वही उसी फॉर्म का न्यूट्रिएंट देना चाहिए, उसकी लीचिंग प्रोसेस और उसका जो हेल्थ है उसको भी मेंटेन करके रखना चाहिए। तो इसी चीज पे हमें फोकस करना है। दैट्स व्हाई द ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग इज इंपॉर्टेंट। अनदर एस्पेक्ट इज ऑर्गेनिक मैटर द बेस्ट फर्टिलाइजर? क्या जो हम कह रहे हैं, तो क्या हमें बिल्कुल केमिकल्स नहीं डालना चाहिए या बिल्कुल उसको बंद कर देना चाहिए? इज ऑर्गेनिक मैटर द बेस्ट फर्टिलाइजर? जो आज ये जो पॉइंट है, ये इस एस्पेक्ट में भी इम्पोर्टेंट है, जो आज हम देख रहे हैं श्रीलंका, जो मैंने अपने थोड़ा इंट्रोडक्शन में भी आप लोगों से डिस्कस किया था। जो श्रीलंका की जो सिचुएशन है, जहां गवर्नमेंट ने एकदम से स्विच ओवर किया है, नहीं हम बिल्कुल अपने जो कंट्री है उसको ऑर्गेनिक कंट्री डिक्लेयर करते हैं और हम कोई फर्टिलाइजर नहीं करना चाहिए। तो क्या हमें एकदम से ऑर्गेनिक एग्रीकल्चर या ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग की तरफ स्विच ओवर करना चाहिए, और इट शुड बी इन स्टेप वाइज मैनर? न्यूट्रिएंट रिलीज ऑर्गेनिक, उसमें काइंड ऑफ ऑर्गेनिक मैटर हम क्या दे रहे हैं? अगर हम ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग भी अपना रहे हैं तो किस तरह का ऑर्गेनिक मैटर हमें सप्लीमेंट करना चाहिए? सॉइल का टेक्सचर कैसा है? क्रॉप की नीड कैसी है? अगर हम फोकस करें और ज्यादा अच्छे से इन चीजों पर ध्यान दें, तब हम अच्छा प्रोडक्शन ला सकते हैं। भले ही हमने अभी देखा कि जो ऑर्गेनिक प्रोडक्शन है वो उतना नहीं होता है जितना कि कन्वेंशनल फॉर्म से आपको एकदम से मिल जाए, जो आज हमें श्रीलंका में देखने को मिला। लेकिन हमें कुछ साइंटिफिक वे में, जो हम इतना साइंस पढ़ रहे हैं, हमें साइंटिफिक वे में भी इस चीज को सोचना चाहिए कि व्हाट काइंड ऑफ ऑर्गेनिक मैटर। जो हमने केवल लिटरेचर में पढ़ लिया है वही हर जगह, जो चीज पंजाब में इम्प्लीमेंट हो रही है जरूरी नहीं है कि वो साउथ में भी इम्प्लीमेंट। we must study what type of organic matter should be given to that particular soil according to their climatic condition or the crop condition. What is the soil texture? We must know type of soil texture. No single formula can be implemented in all the areas. And what are the crop needs? What type of crop? What is the demand of crop? If it requires nitrogen, then what type of organic matter we should give to the soil, and if it requires phosphate, then in what form we have to implement it. Then organic matter is advantages, conservation of the nutrients against leaching. These are some aspects which help in long-term benefit of the soil. Continual release of nutrient supports high microbial growth. We can say that the conventional farming or chemical farming is a rapid farming system. आपने फटाफट फर्टिलाइजर डाला और आपको रिजल्ट उसी साल मिल गया। लेकिन जो ऑर्गेनिक एग्रीकल्चर है, भले ही शुरू में ये जो फेज है उसका, वो आपको जो प्रोडक्शन है वो एकदम से कम हो जाएगा, लेकिन अगर हम उसको लॉन्ग टर्म में देखें, अगर उसका बेनिफिट देखें, तो कंजर्वेशन ऑफ न्यूट्रिएंट्स अगेंस्ट लीचिंग। ऑर्गेनिक मैटर या जो ऑर्गेनिक एग्रीकल्चर में जो है, जो न्यूट्रिएंट्स होते हैं, वो लीचिंग, वो एकदम से सॉइल के जो वो है सिस्टम है उसमें अंदर बिल्कुल नहीं चले जाते, लीचिंग प्रोसेस नहीं होती, उसको मेंटेन करके रखता है। कंटिन्यूअल रिलीज न्यूट्रिएंट्स ऑफ जो ऑर्गेनिक एग्रीकल्चर, द न्यूट्रिएंट रिलीज आर स्लो but steady, supports high microbial growth. The aspect of another aspect of my project was to study the microbial activity. For that, this slide is soil moisture in organic, the optimum condition for soil moisture, the field capacity. It is wet but aerated. In organic farming, soil pH around neutral, and in this soil pH, fungi prefer. The growth of mycorrhiza and all the phosphate solubilizing bacteria is very good. Soil temperature different, there are different soil temperature range, and organic matter is also plentiful in organic farming. These are some research result which focuses the importance of organic farming. You all are must aware with the different biofertilizers. There are different biofertilizers like bacterial, algal, and fungal. Bacterial fertilizers, basically nitrogen fixers. There are symbiotic like rhizobium, associative like azospirillum, non-symbiotic like azotobacter, acetobacter. In bacterial category, again, phosphate solubilizers like non-symbiotic, symbiotic. And in algal biofertilizer, we focuses basically on non-symbiotic and symbiotic. There is some correction as well as pteridophyte. I removed that portion, but it is again here. In fungal biofertilizer, there are phosphate solubilizers and phosphate mobilizers. Phosphate solubilizers like Aspergillus penicillium, and phosphate mobilizers that symbiotic and arbuscular mycorrhiza. Here, my focus is basically in this arbuscular mycorrhiza. Organic and conventional farming, the another issue in this regard is, can organic farming reduce energy need? Yes, there are 30 to 60% of conventional farming. No doubt the chemical farming produce 2-3 times more, but the requirement is also too high. But in organic farming, the energy need is 32% low in comparison to the chemical farming. And what about the yield and profit? Organic farms yield 60 to 90% less in comparison, may produce 60 to 90% less in comparison to conventional farming. Organic farms produce much energy or more than it is used in their crop production. Conventional farms produce only 30 to 60% as much energy as needed to produce the crop. So by these slides, we can come to the conclusion that the organic farming require less energy, though it is producing less input, but the conventional farming or chemical farming requires more energy. That's why it is producing more energy. So the best option is organic farming. So in my now coming to the my project work, what I did in this, I choose two forms which I have already mentioned, that one is the chemical form, conventional chemical form, and other one is organic form, which is switched over to the organic form from past 10 to 15 years in the Navdhanya. The host I chose, that cereals, legumes, vegetables, aromatic and medicinal plants, trees, etc. There, the main focus here is the A series of field. The organic farm is 10 to 15-year-old, as it is converted from the traditional chemical form. The time of sampling for these crops I chose that before sowing, crucial stage of growth or harvesting. Observation, I took that plant parameters like growth, yield, etc., microbial profile, diversity, and biomass. Isolation methodology, these are such as azotobacter, rhizobium. These are already mentioned in the slide. For the main that mycorrhiza, staining of AM roots and arbuscular mycorrhizal roots by Phillips and Heyman method, 1970. Grade line intersect method for root infection, Giovanni and Mose, 1980 method. Wet sieving and decanting method for spore isolation, Gardman and Nicholson, 1963 method. And soil microbial biomass for carbon, done by chloroform or fumigation method. These tests were, these other tests, except mycorrhiza and other, mycorrhiza was done in the FRI Institute and other tests were done in the Ghaziabad unit. For microbial isolation, 10 raised to power minus 2 to 10 raised to power minus 7 serial evaluation of experimental soil for bacterial and fungal count. Spread plate method were used for quantification and isolation of microorganisms, purification of colonies of Rhizobium, Azotobacter, and phosphate solubilizing microorganisms done on the specific media like Azotobacter culture was done on Waxman 77 agar medium, Rhizobium culture was done on Yama medium, PS phosphate solubilizing microorganisms like bacterial and fungal were grown on the specific medium. These are the site map. Here you can see this is the Shimla bypass road of Dehradun and the village Karbari. Karbari village, these two villages, Karbari village and the village Karbari road, main village, and by which the two villages, Buddi village and Ramgarh village are adjacent to each other. Here in this Karbari village or Karbari conventional farm, that is in a Buddi village, the conventional farming system, like the use of fertilizers, pesticides, all things are done here. And the village near this Buddi village, that is in name is Ramgarh, there is Navdhanya organic farm. And this organic farm was implementing organic agriculture since last 10 to 15 years. So you can see that these two sites are adjacent to each other. And these are my study. These were my study site. These are the crops I choose for my study. That in cereal category, here the focus of my study that the same crop variety is used in the different form. Like in rice conventional form, the variety Kasturi is used in conventional form as well as in organic form. And the sampling time, the plant rice is, these are tables showing the habit of the plant and the sampling time. Like you can see the sampling time is in time of sowing like June, then tillering phase July, then in flowering phase September, and in the harvesting phase October. Same procedure is implemented for all the crops. Rice in organic field is also sampling is taken from the same variety shown in the organic form, and the sampling time is same. For the maize variety is the local, that is a seasonal. This is habit is seasonal and time of collection is same as in the rice field, because they are these are kharif crop. Finger millet, the local. Another aspect, this finger millet was not grown in the organic this chemical form. So I just took this crop for just for my study, that what is the mycorrhizal or other microbial status of this particular crop. Pulses which choose that the main focus in these forms are basically on the rice and cereal crop. And just these pulses, lobia and vegetable, you can see. Medicinal plants like stevia, andrographis, and the sampling time is like this. Trees, trees are basically in the organic field, in the Navdhanya form only, but we have no counter sample in the conventional or chemical form. The trees for this, just for another aspect of the study, like bamboo, citrus, and shisha. The time of sampling is June, August, September, December. These are some pictures. These are, you can see the in the first upper half, you can see these are the farm pictures of the conventional, or you can say chemical, where the chemical fertilizer is used. While in this the lower half, you can see this is the Navdhanya form, and in the same field it is not so big form, but they are just using the concept Navdhanya. They are in a small patches, they are using that maize crop, rice crop, finger millet, and the pulses of that particular season. You can see the area of cultivation in the conventional farm, it is too vast, but in the case of organic farm, it is limited or in a small patches. These are some pictures of the organic form medicine plant, that Andrographis and Stevia. These medicine plant are in high demand in Delhi Haat by the Navdhanya farm. These are the pictures of the tree species like bamboos, citrus, and shisham. These are of organic form only. These are some cereals of Rabi crop like wheat, barley, lentil, garlic, stevia. The Rabi crop as well as Kharif crop were also considered. Now I took replicates in 2 seasons of 5 each. Sampling time, I have already mentioned that according to crop at the time of pre-sowing, vegetative phase, flowering phase, and harvesting phase. For tree sampling, that is confined only to the January, that is in winter, in rainy season, April in spring season, rainy season, and again in autumn season. So I just want to relate the trend of the crop according to the season, especially in case of tree crops. So I have already mentioned that the mycorrhizal colonization root staining was done, and that was done by Phillips and Heyman procedure. Root infection measurement was done by grid line intersect method and Giovanni and Muse method 1980. Mycorrhizal spore population was done by wet sieving and decanting technique, Gerdman and Nicholson 1963 manual, and sugar density gradient centrifugation by Daniels and Skipper 1982 method. These are some pictures. These are some findings of the mycorrhizal colonization. You can see these are in picture A, you can see small patches. Most of you are the botanist and you must know vascular mycorrhiza. These are the plant cells, and inside these cells you can see the darkened portion is arbuscule, which you can see the rectangular portion, the arrow you can see. These are arbuscules, and these rounded globose structure are vesicles. These are the magnified structure. In picture C, you can see these are the vesicles in the magnified. And here you can see the extramatricular, and this is intramatricular height. And by these structure, we can quantify how much colonization of mycorrhizal fungi occurs in the particular root. So these are some results you can see in this screen. In rice field, I focuses basically on the rice, maize, wheat, and barley, and because the other crops we have no counterpart in the conventional form, so I focuses basically on these cereal crops only, and some tree crops and medicine plant. In rice crop, you can see the sampling was done basically in the vegetative phase, trailing phase, and harvesting phase. You can see here that though we can say that in organic farming system, the colonization and other symbiotic association is good, but the trend you can see that it is not very good root colonization in case of rice. In rice, you can see this is not as much as we expected, because in rice they are using in organic form, they are using the pteridophytic biofertilizer like azolla and other. That's why the root colonization is not so good. You can see here, it is 5 in vegetative phase, 10 in tillering phase, and only 15% root colonization in harvesting phase. Same you can see with the colonization, root colonization is for maize is also not as much we expected. Like it should be around 60 to 80% as we did for other field mycorrhizal study. But here you can see it is only 30% to 25% only, and the spore population is also not too high. in these particular field. The wheat, the Narmada variety is used in both the field, and here you can see there is also not as much as expected root colonization. The reason may be that since this field, the organic field, is only 10 to 15 year old. Previously, it was chemical form. That's why there is not such a drastic result we can observe here. This is only 8, 15, and 30. And the spore population is also not as much high. It is only 16. You can see spore population. That is, spore population is taken 50 ml per 50 ml of soil by wet sieving method. You can see at harvesting time it should be increased so that it can act as a perinating structure for the other season crop, but it restrict to 16 spores per 50 ml of soil. It is not a very good soil health with respect to the mycorrhizal association. Same result you can see in the barley field. That trend is, by this trend we can say that though the root colonization and spore population is high in comparison to the chemical or conventional form, but the organic form is not showing very good or drastic root colonization. These are some graphs which these are graphs of the results which I have already shown. That by this graph you can see the organic farming, no doubt they are in upper hand with comparison to the chemical farm, but the difference is not drastic much. Same with the spore population. This is for wheat crop and this is for rice crop. You can see this the organic form showing the better result in comparison to the conventional form, whether it is in a vegetative phase, tillering phase, or harvesting phase, but not as much drastic as we expected. These are some results apart from my study that for the medicine plant, that you can see that in stevia, in case of stevia, root colonization in the June, there is no root colonization occur, while in month of July you can see this is slightly increasing till the autumn of the year, while the spore population is also decreasing. That in June we can conclude that in the month of June there is a good amount of spore population, but while the crop is in a growing phase, the number of spore are less because the maximum root colonization occur here. And again in the autumn condition where the crop is towards the declining phase, the spore number increases. So it is the indicator that the symbiotic relationship between the host and the mycorrhizal is important. That they are, when the crop is at the end, the spore population is increasing, while when the crop is in a vegetative phase, you can see the good root colonization occurs. Same in case of endographis, you can say the number of spore increasing. Here you can say the number of spore is slightly changing, and this shows the variation of this plant from this endographis. While considering the tree species, the citrus species, as I have shown in the some pictures, that there were tree species like citrus, bamboo, and shisham. The least infection was observed in the citrus plant. You can see the root colonization is only 5 to 6% from June to October, while the spore population is not so much high. That shows that the citrus plant is less dependent on mycorrhiza. While in case of bamboo, it is about 40 to 56% root colonization. And this colonization, I want to mention that this root colonization is very low because I did my PhD in the bamboo endomycorrhiza, where I can, the findings that the colonization is up to 80 to 90%. But in this condition, the colonization is only 40 to 56%. And that is because though they are tree species and they are in organic field, but the previous condition of that field is the of chemical nature, and this slightly affect the root colonization because the soil is not drastically changed within 10 to 15 years. It requires time. We already devastated the soil due to excessive use of harsh chemical, and it will take time around 20 to 30 years to come in its original position. And after only 20 to 30 years, we can say the root infection is of bamboo is as much as in the natural condition, which is about 80 to 90%, as I observed in my research, PhD research. In shisham plant, you can say that only not very, there is no good root infection. It is only 20 to 36%, and spore population is also not so drastic, only 9.8 to 14%. These are the, this table is the summarized table. We have taken many samples, and this is the just average of these samples. Another aspect, I choose that what type of microbes we can find in bacterial. In bacteria, there are bacteria like Bacillus subtilis, Pseudomonas fluorescens, and the most dominant microbial microorganism found in such soil are fungi, organic soil like Aspergillus flavus, Aspergillus niger, Aspergillus tenuis, Fusarium species, Rhizoctonia, Phoma. You can see the Fusarium species, it is a pathogenic one. Because in organic farming, we are not using such fungicides, pesticides. That's why all beneficial as well as harmful microbes are found in the soil. And it's the plant species or the soil health which itself counteract with these pathogens and in a coordinated manner. Considering the property of soil, we have given these soil sample to the soil testing laboratory, and these are the findings of the different condition of soil. In conventional form, you can see that the soil pH, organic carbon, nitrate and ammonia are in good condition in organic soil, while the available phosphorus and available potash is in a normal condition and which are less in the conventional soil. And these trends suggest that the organic field are less dependent on available P and available K, as they have much good mycorrhizal association in comparison to the chemical or conventional form. But the magnesium, MgO and CaO are in medium position in organic soil. These results are those showing the upper hand of the organic soil, but we can't come to the conclusion that the soil health is too good as we expect. So there are some outcomes of my project, that the general mycorrhizal status, that root infection as well as the spore population of different kind of plant is quite low. Though they are in upper hand with organic field. It should be a conventional field. But in comparison to the natural condition, the colonization as well as the spore population is too low. Highest endomycorrhizal colonization observed in bamboo, though it is low, as I already mentioned that it should be about 80 to 90%, it is only 56%, and it is least in rice and citrus plant. In rice field, there is you all are aware that there are field Olosoria and other green algae, and these people are also using the azolla pteridophytic biofertilizer. That's why the root colonization is too low. And its citrus plant, it is all around 6% only. Available P and K in organic field reflects the contribution of mycorrhizal and PSB in organic field crops. Neutral soil pH favors the beneficial fungal growth as PSBs and endomycorrhiza are in a good hand in organic soil. High amount of organic matter reflects good soil health in organic field. In phosphate solubilizers, fungi are predominating in comparison to bacteria in this in my study. So I come to the conclusion that the extensive study is needed to set a trend. We are just observing the results and finding, but we can't come to the a proper trend or until unless this study requires around 2 to 30 years, so that this chemical form or conventional form really switch over to the organic. For this project, the technical backup and support, I'm thankful to Forest Research Institute for providing me the infrastructure facility, Navdhanya Organic Farm, Dehradun, Indian Agriculture Research Institute for microbial isolation and culture, National Biofertilizer Development Center for proper guidance. Thank you very much, all of you, for patience hearing, and especially thanks to Dr. Sheila Shinde for providing me such opportunity. Thank you very much once again.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you. Ma'am, your presentation is substantial and comprehensive. You have done a very comprehensive research. Your research and your speech is very beneficial to all the researchers, all students, and the researchers to carry out the future research in this field. Ma'am, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Our Sheila ma'am and you, we are the partners, roommates during the refresher course. She told to me.
Yes.
And she always tells about you, about your talent, about your research. So thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Now I'm going to hand over the mic to our colleague, young and dynamic colleague from the Department of Botany, Dr. Sanav sir, because the next keynote addresser is Dr. Bhale sir. He is from Nardurg, and she will deliver a lecture on pesticidal impact on environment and benefits of organic farming. Now, may I request our young and dynamic colleague from Department of Botany, Dr. Sanav sir, to give brief introduction of Professor Uddhav Bhale sir. Dr. Sanav sir, over to you.
Yes, sir. Thank you for your very sweet words towards me. Now, it is good afternoon, one and all. It is my great pleasure to introduce our guest, eminent scientist, a great researcher, innovative teacher, and a true human being, Professor Dr. Uddhav Narba Bhale. Professor Bhale, sir, is well-known researcher in the field of mycology and plant pathology. He is working as Professor of Botany in Arts, Science and Commerce College, Nardurg, a historic place of Maharashtra. Sir has achieved post of professor at the age of 44 years. He is inspiration to all of us. He has completed his PhD under the guidance of Professor Dr. Shivaji Kamble sir, ex-head Department of Botany, Shivaji University, Kolhapur. There is one proverb in Marathi, Shuddha bija pote, phale rasal gomati. That means, if you sow a healthy seed, you can get tasty fruits. Likewise, he is product of eminent scientists, Professor Shivaji Kamble sir and Professor L.V. Gangavane sir. He has published more than 159 research papers in reputed international and national journals. Sir also contributed in 19 books writing with renowned publishers. He has delivered hundreds of talks on various platforms like conferences, webinars, radio talks, NSS programs, etc. Sir is helping many students for research. 11 students are awarded PhD and 8 are presently working under the guidance of Professor Bhale sir. Sir has completed 5 major and minor projects of UGC and DST served under the Government of India. He is working on mycology and plant pathology since 24 years. He is life member of 15 reputed international and national journals and working on editorial board of 9 journals. Sir is awarded by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Scientific Excellence Award 2015 for his great work in the field of science research. There is much more to talk about Professor Bhale sir, but time is the limit. With this brief introduction, may I request Professor Bhale sir to start his lecture. Professor Bhale sir, please.
Thank you, sir. My voice is audible, please?
Yes, sir, yes.
Okay.
You are visible and audible.
So first of all, I am thankful to Dr. Shankar Sanam sir for nice introduction. Good afternoon, all of you. And first of all, I am congratulate to the president of former president of the late Shankara Gutte Gramin Arts, Commerce and Science College, Dharmapuri, Honorable Shivaji Gutte sir, for awarding Millet from America. His renowned relay has been received from overseas. Respected principal Dr. Holambe sir, the convener of this conference, Dr. Sheila Shinde ma'am, co-convener of this conference, Dr. Shankar Sanap sir. Here just to deliver a very nice talk regarding for the organic farming, giving some case study as well as representing their work, Dr. Shalini Rawat ma'am from Uttarakhand, as well as those who are attending this virtual e-conference, one-day national conference, all respected teachers, my friends, my students, research students, and especially I am going to thank my friend Dr. P.D. Deshmukh, Head Department of Botany, late Shankara Gutte Gramin Arts, Commerce, Science College, Dharmapuri, Taluka, Parali District, B, who invite me to discuss about the topic of this conference. And sir told me that definitely can talk about the imbalances of the environmental condition and what about the pesticide impact on that. So that is a topic which has been considered from my suggestion, that is pesticide impact on environment and benefits of organic farming. First topic in this national virtual conference has been considered the main theme, and that is my main talk. And the subtopic has been considered in this conference is very important. Already Honorable Gutte Sahib already discussed, because it is a very burning problem for all over India, because India is an agriculture country, and everywhere these farmers are going to be used the different type of the synthetic chemicals or pesticides or agrochemicals for enhancement of the crop plants, to increasing the yield production. So that's why here some things are that these are the impact of pesticides used in agriculture, their benefits and hazards, direct impact on human environment, then environment impact of pesticides, importance and benefits of pesticides in organic farming, health benefits of organic agriculture beyond pesticides. Organic pesticides are better for the environment, and organic farming in India, benefits and challenges. So these are the themes are totally related to the main theme of that is the pesticide impact on environment and organic farming. Just now, ma'am has discussed much more things regarding for the organic farming of the what is and why it is necessary for the organic farming is to be required. Friends, last 2 years we are suffering very that is the coronavirus disease. So many people are going to be suffered, even they have died also due to the coronavirus. Virus is one of the very devastating disease all over the world. And every doctors, every counselors to suggest everyone for all over the world to use organic food. It means chemical-free food. But very difficult task to provide each and every this increasing population country. And India is the second largest population country all over the world. And just like in medical sciences, there is two terms are very most important. That is allopathy and Ayurvedic. So friends, we will get the very slow result from the Ayurvedic medicine, and fast remedy will take from that is allopathy or that is medicine, such a way that here in the farmer's point of view, every farmers are going to pay attention towards the use of indiscriminate use of the pesticides. And due to that, everywhere some pesticide acts is there, insecticide acts are there. Even though they are every farmers are not literate, every farmers are not graduate of the agriculture or postgraduate of the agriculture. Our villagers farmers are illiterate regarding for the how to use pesticide, how to use organic fertilizers or biofertilizers. So that know any idea about that the pesticides or as well as a biofertilizer. Keeping this view, these all information, all themes here, I have suggested very most important topic about the pesticidal impact on environment and benefits of organic farming. Our Government of India and Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, Department of Agriculture and Farmer Welfare from Delhi, they have always considered for the integrated pest management, that is IPM, we say it is IPM, integrated pest management, which eco-friendly management should be required for the organic farming. That is alternative for the pesticides. Even we people, we farmers are going to be used different type of the commodities of food commodities or crop commodities for transporting a storage condition. So that time, if some plantlets become infected, so such infected plantlets or poor variety of the plantlets cannot carry from one place to the next place, from one place taluka to the other talukas, one state to the other state, or one country to the other country. That's what is the quarantine act. Just like last 2 years, we are always come under that quarantine. That is quarantine. So this is quarantine means we say in Marathi, isolate म्हणजे एका ठिकाणीच राहणे, दुसऱ्या ठिकाणी आपलं जे इन्फेक्शन झालेलं आहे ते एका ठिकाणी दुसऱ्या ठिकाणी जाऊ नये म्हणून आपण क्वारंटाईन होतो. तो तशा प्रकारचा क्वारंटाईन ऍक्ट इज ऑल्सो amended by the Government of India, and in such a way that there is regarding for the pesticides. So there is one more very most important board are available near to the Delhi, that is in Faridabad, and there's a central insecticide boards and the registration committee are there, and these committee are recommended everywhere all over India. Those companies, those market companies are going to be producing different pesticides. So they are recommended to take the recommendation to take the certification from this CIB board from Faridabad, New Delhi. But day by day, under the section of that 3 Pesticide Act 1968, and that to control for the insect pests, mites, fungi, bacteria, virus, plasma. So these are the all devastating organisms, devastating microorganisms can be controlled by using a proper chemicals, proper organic chemical, proper synthetic chemicals. That is in the sense that it's called the pesticides, but not happening such a way that, and even though that boards also come under the WHO, there is a World Health Organization, and World Health Organization also classify different pesticides, different fungicides, different insecticides. So what are the chemicals, what are the synthetic chemicals are going to be available all over India as well as in the world that can become under the WHO. WHO can be classified, WHO can be recommended these all things, and such a way that this pesticide thing has to become in this 19th century, and day by day so many farmers, so many literate farmers are going to use such type of the pesticides. But even in ancient period or in ancient civilization, use of the pesticide to protect their crops from insect and pests, even during the very past decades or so, or in the ancient civilization. In ancient period, especially, also even now today, sulfur was used to protect the crop plants or a crop from the insects. Means sulfur is also used to protect the crops, even that to control the insects. In medicinal periods or in medieval periods, in between this ancient time that the modern periods, the medieval periods are there. In farmer experimented the different of the chemicals such as arsenic and lead on crop plants. That time, arsenic as well as lead is also used to control the such of the pathogens, such of the insect pests of the mites. So here in China, or the Chinese used arsenic and mercury compounds to control body, eyes, and other pests also. So this is some literature regarding how that pesticides are going to become up, and nowadays we are going to use our vastly such kind of pesticides are going to be used. In Greeks and Roman was used oil, then ash, sulfurs, or other protected themselves their livestock or that the commodities and crops even for apply for the various crop plants also. And nowadays in current era, everywhere in 19th century or this current era, researchers are focused or pay attention. Just now ma'am has discussed much more because that is in current work has been focused now, and that is everywhere need to be there. And now this organic farming or organic concept, that is especially from one of the plants that is known as chrysanthemum, and chrysanthemum has to be received as organic chemicals and to use to control the plant diseases. Thereafter, in 1939, well-known that is insecticide that is known as the DDT, that is dichloroethane, was discovered, and which was extremely effective that time for to control the insect, and rapidly used as insecticide in the world. But now that is their adverse effects due to the imbalances of the environmental conditions. Now ban has to be there, and now it is banned. Not only a single the DDT, but aldrin, then endosulfan. So such insecticides are going to be totally banned by this in our country as well as all over the world, and that has not still recommended by the WHO. And as far as the pesticide concept is to be there, that is India is the fifth or fourth largest producer or largest company are available in India after China, then USA, then Japan and South Korea. And as far as India is concerned, the more and more pesticides are going to be used from our India, that is Maharashtra comes first, thereafter Uttar Pradesh, then Punjab, and other states which are going to be consuming or which are going to be used the pesticides all over the India. Majority here that pesticides are going to be used majority of the crop plants in rice, that is our staple food everywhere. The people are going to prefer the rice or chawal. There about 26 to 28% of the pesticides are going to be used to control the such different type of the pests, different of the fungi, bacteria, viruses, etc. Then thereafter followed by the cotton, and that cotton has to be there is a 18 to 20% this pesticide going to be used, that pesticides. The majority of the farmers are illustrated and unaware of the pesticides, hence injury and illness are going to be concerned. That is illiterate. Just already have told you that the people are aware about, disaWare about the how to use the pesticides, how to control the pest, how to control the mites, pests, insects, fungi, bacteria, viruses. So that's why their awareness is very essential for to improving or keep the balance of environmental condition. The chemicals do not expose in the environment, then risks due to the expose such as the chemicals of the pesticides in the environment. So such a way that these pesticides are how hazardous and how it is important and how to keep the environment balances, when you can use safely, when you can use the appropriate amount of pesticide to control the diseases, to control the pathogen, to control the pests, and thereafter why it's necessary, the organic farming is important. So this is introduction. Now I am sharing my screen. Okay, so this is my topic, pesticide impacts on environment and benefits of organic farming. Already I discussed about the introduction. What is pesticides? Pesticides are chemical substances that are meant to kill the pests, mites, insect, pathogen, as well as those the microorganisms harmful in microflora or in soil components. So that is to be killed. That is synthetic chemical substance to kill that the different microorganisms. Another concept can be discussed about the pesticides, a substance used for destroying insect, pest, mites, or other organisms which are harmful for the especially for the plants and animals as well as human being. Then third, it is commonly used to eliminate or to control the variety of agricultural pests, mites, insect pests, microorganisms, or damaging crops or livestock and reduce from farm productivity or farm products. So that is the mean. It's very simple meaning. Pesticides to kill the pest. Pesticides to kill the pest in the sense in that pest there is presence of that is considered to be the pest, mice, insect, fungi, bacteria, viruses, microbes, those who are harmful for plants as well as animals as well as human beings. They are controlled. So this is the meaning regarding for the pesticides. And the Food and Agriculture Organization has considered the meaning or the thing regarding for the pesticide is any substance or the mixture of substances intended for preventing, try to understand, to prevent, destroying or the contents, any pests, including vectors or agents of human or animal diseases, unwanted species of the plants, animals causing harm during or otherwise interfering with the production, processing, storage, transport, marketing of food, agricultural commodities, wood and wood products, or animal foodstuffs or substances that may be administered to animals for the control of insects, ashes, or other pests in their bodies. Try to understand, friends. Whatever the substance, whatever the chemical or synthetic substance which are damaging to the plants, which are destroying to the plants, which are there is presence of the pest or any insect, those are agents are responsible for causing the disease or transporting the disease for the human animals. Then unwanted species supposed to be this is weeds. Weeds also we can consider for the weedicides to kill the weeds. So unwanted species of plants, unwanted species of the animals. Then during the storage condition, during the transportation condition, during the processing conditions, during the carrying the commodities of the agriculture commodities from one place to the next place. So that is to be controlled, that is to be still alive, means still to safe. So that meaning has been given by the FAO. Then, as far as the pesticidal applications to be all over the world, as well as the country, there are 40 to 50,000 of the chemical pesticides are available all over the world. Friends, try to understand how chemicals are available and how the chemicals are dangerous for the human being, how chemicals are dangerous for the plants, how chemicals receiving the residues are harmful for the human beings, as well as the plants, as well as the soil. Soil is numerical forms of microbiota. Just already ma'am told that microorganisms are very helpful for the plants. Recycling of the soil texture, recycling the pH level, moisture level, what are the recycling different type of the phosphate solubilizing fungi. So different type of the microorganisms are present in that particular soil. So when you are applying in a crude ways, when you are applying in not scientific ways, so definitely they will hazard us in the environment. They will dangerous for the human beings. So such a way that this is attentive data, they 40 to 50,000 chemicals are available, or chemical pesticides or the agrochemicals are available. Then the data of FAO or Full Agriculture Organization, India has utilized around, friend, that is 50,160 tons of pesticides in a year. एका वर्षामध्ये जवळजवळ 58,160 टन्स और मेट्रिक टन्स अशा प्रकारचे पेस्टिसाइड्स भारतामध्ये वापरला जाऊ शकतात अशा प्रकारचा डाटा FAO ने या ठिकाणी दिलेला आहे. Then next is that is there are near about 292 to 300 pesticides are registered in our country. Means in our country near about 300 pesticides in the form of fungicides, in the form of herbicides, antibiotics, weedicides, acaricides, nematicides to control the nematodes. So such a way that here the CIB, that is in Faridabad near to the Nelly, has been registered, has been recommended the different fungicides. So near about the pesticide, or that is 300 pesticides are recommended and registered in our country. So there is in total pesticide consumptions out of these fungicides, insecticides, herbicides, weedicides, rodenticides, then that is acaricides. So out of which insecticides are highest use or in India. म्हणजे सर्व जर पेस्टिसाइडचा विचार केला, इन्सेक्टला मारणारे जास्त या ठिकाणी आपल्या भारतामध्ये या पेस्टिसाइडचा कंझम्पशन, पेस्टिसाइडचा वापर केला जातो. Then India share only 1% of the global pesticide use and consider rank 5th. जगामध्ये मगाशी सांगितलं रँक 5th or rank 4, म्हणजे फक्त 1% जगाच्या तुलनेत जर विचार केला आपण, only 1% of the global pesticides are going to be used and come under the rank 5th all over the world. Then in India, per hectare has been calculated here that the application rate of pesticide was only 0.31%, that is 31 kg per hectare. म्हणजे फक्त जर आपण जर पर्सेंटेज पाहिलं तर 0.31 अशा प्रकारचं किलोग्राम पर हेक्टरला अशा प्रकारचं हे पेस्टिसाइड वापर आहे, परंतु खूप थोडकस आहे compared to other countries. Then and around 104 pesticides that are continued to be produced. म्हणजे मगाशी जो आकडा सांगितला तुम्हाला 292 or 300. So out of which 104 pesticides, among that there may be the fungicides, there may be the antibiotics or weedicides or rodenticides or nematicides, out of which 104 pesticides are still continued in India, and even that is producing from other country also. In India, the 4th largest producer of pesticides in the world, already I have told the 4th or the 5th largest producer all over the world. Let us see now here the data regarding for the trace used to the pesticides all over the country. So this is the total consumption. Just you can see now the data from 200 to 201 up to the 216 to 17. So this source I have taken from ICR NIP. Let us see now this is the metric tons and this is the kilogram per hectare. So this is thoroughly day by day per year to year. So this data and consumption rate are going to be increased. Here already I have told you that 0.31. So let's still now today data. So this is data of 2016 to 17. But now I have discussed before that this is 0.31 is as far as the current consumption rate is 0.31 kilogram per hectare or consumption rate of the pesticides in our India. Let us see now here the scenario of India in world. So as far as the world is concerned, first of all, we discuss about the world. Here, this is the fungicidal percentage of using the fungicides to kill the fungi. This is the data, 30% that is herbicides, and this is a huge data which have been used all over the world, that is a 44%, and others, that is means fungicides, except the fungicides, herbicides, instead there may be the antibiotics, weedicides, rodenticides, nematicides come under the 5%. So this is the data for world scenario. So this is the insecticides use is very much more. म्हणजे या ठिकाणी तुम्ही पाहू शकता की इन्सेक्टिसाइड्स जे पेस्टिसाइड्स आहे तर जवळजवळ 44% हा भाग जगभरामध्ये 44% प्रमाणामध्ये 100%च्या पेस्टिसाइडच्या 44% पेस्टिसाइड्स हे जगामध्ये वापरले जातात. तेच प्रमाण आपल्या भारतामध्ये मगाशी तुम्हाला सांगितलं की इंडियामध्ये इन्सेक्टिसाइड्स आर गोइंग टू यूज insecticides consumptions are very huge as compared to world, that is 76%. And as far as India and other pesticides are going to be used, here the more percentage of the insecticide, that is 26%. Later on are followed by there is a fungicides to kill the fungi, there are herbicides and others, that is nematicides, rodenticides, acaricides. So this is the use of pesticides as compared to world in India. Now here also the world scenario. This is the world data I have shown here, and out of which the Taiwan are using more percent of the pesticides as far as the world is concerned. That is Taiwan 20%. Later on the, let's see now here China, then Japan, the Netherlands. Our data is very poor. Already I have told you that that is a 1% of the pesticides are going to use in India. And yes. So this is the chemical and biopesticide. Let's see now here graphical representation as far as the chemical pesticide and biopesticides are again following with that. As compared to that chemical pesticides, also this is the blue mark is considered for the chemical pesticide, and red mark is considered for the biopesticides. It's a very poor data. Just you can see now here from 214 up to the 220 is very poor data. Means now the time has to come to use everywhere, not only India but everywhere, to use the biopesticides. So this is the data just I have shown now here. Now chemical control of the pesticide control, that is the toxic or poisoning or hazardous of pesticide, how it is. Pesticides are the preparation for the eradication of the plants, animal pest for the production of plants, animals and the man. And already told that over 800 compounds, active compounds and their ingredients are going to be used worldwide, are registered. And in India, that is the Pesticide Act is there, that is 1968 Pesticide Act are there, and that act are going to be carrying by one of the board, that is the Central Institute Board and Registration Committee. Try to understand, this is very important because those who are studying, those researchers are going to be studying in pathology, especially for the fungicide resistance, or those who are going to use these pesticides, those who are going to use to control the pest mites. So they must know regarding who recommended this the pesticide. So that recommended by, this is the committee, that is Central Insecticide Board and Registration Committee, CIB and RC, Faridabad, New Delhi, and under the Act of 1968, that is Pesticide Act. What are the different type of pesticides? So the first, that is insecticide to kill the insects, then herbicide to kill the weeds, or you can say now it is the weedicides also to kill the weeds. Then rodenticides to kill the rodents, the rats, mice, just like. Then bactericides to kill the bacteria, or antibiotics, you can say it is antibiotics. Then fungicide to kill the fungi, various type of the fungi which are harmful for the in soil, as well as those who are pathogenic fungi to control that the pathogenic diseases or fungal diseases, to use the fungicides. Recommend the fungicides. Generally, here one quote I will discuss about here: larvicides to kill the larvae. Then this is nematicides to kill the nematodes. Nematodes कडे बरेच जणांचं दुर्लक्ष या ठिकाणी होतं. म्हणजे सूत्रकर्मी वनस्पतीच्या मुळावर अशा मोठ्या मोठ्या प्रकारच्या गाठी येतात. छोट्या गाठी ज्या असतात ते द्विदलवनस्पतीच्या मुळाच्या गाठीवर येतात, तुम्हाला माहिती आहे रायझोबियम. But now these nematicides are having big knots are available near to the that root surfaces as well as stem surfaces. If the root surfaces are attacked by the nematodes, so definitely whatever the nutrients are available in the soil, whatever the water contents are available in that soil, that can be consumed by the nematodes and not transported toward the other part of the plant body, and that plant body are totally stop their growth and developments. If that nematodes not found from the root surfaces, if that nematodes or such type of not are present on the same region, so that the total nutrients or total waters are going to be consumed by the nematodes and not transported to the other part of the plant body, and they restrict their growth, they restrict their productivity, they restrict their yield production. So this is that's why the researcher or pathologists can focus attention towards to control the nematodes also, because to take the supports of the zoology scientists, because they have an idea about that is nematodes, what type of nematodes are there, what are their respective nomenclature, and what are the different species of nematodes, and everyone should focus on to control the nematodes, because it is very devastating that microorganism to control the to control by the nematicides. Molluscides आपण कोळी म्हणतोय, मोलस्कस किंवा आपण त्याला शिंपले म्हणतोय, त्या किंवा त्याला गोगलगाय म्हणतो, त्या सुद्धा वनस्पतीच्या वाढीला बाधा आणणारे घटक आहेत, कंट्रोल मोलस्किसाइड्स. देन ऍक्रिसाइड्स मीन्स आपण कोळी म्हणतोय, म्हणजे आपण जाळ करण्याच्या कोळी असतात, सो दॅट इज ऑल्सो टू कंट्रोल बाय द ऍक्रिसाइड्स. So here, so these are the different pesticides, and one quote, friends, try to understand that particular host, either that is the plants or animals, or that are the different type of the plants, particular hosts are having the particular disease caused by particular pathogens only, and to control by a particular chemical or pesticides. But nowadays, appropriate chemicals can be used to control the appropriate diseases. Just like when we are suffering by headache, we should take that related to the headache medicine. If we are taking that is another medicines, supposed to be our leg are going to pain, and we are taking such medicines, so not directly affected and to control the disease. So this is that's why particular hosts are having the particular disease caused by particular pathogens. So these phenomena can be considered to control any kind of diseases. So these are the different pesticides, different synthetic chemicals, different type of the agrochemicals can be used to control the diseases. What is the most used pesticides in the world? Already I discussed about among that pesticides, that is the one more is chlorpyrifos, that is organophosphate pesticides, are the most widely used pesticide for controlling pests, insects, worms, mites, those which are attacking toward the crop plants, especially here the corn or maize plants, as well as those are attacking toward the soybean during their cultivation, during the progressive growth are there. Then barcoli is also one of the plants, as well as the fruit plants, that is the apple. So these plants, that is the corn, soybean, barcoli, apples, and other plants, those are suffering by pests, insects, and the worms, specifically recommended by WHO, recommended by our CIBN, that is control board, chlorpyrifos, and everywhere our literary farmers, the agricultural farmers are going to use the organophosphate pesticide to control the such type of the pests which are present on that corn or related that the crop plants. Let us see now here. This is our site, especially every farmers, even though we are the researchers, those who are working in plant pathology, those who are working related to control the plant diseases, those who are working in the organic farming, pay attention to go to the sites, that is the Directorate of Plant Protection, Quarantine and Storage site of Government of India. There different links are available. Try to understand, friends. Here deleted links are there. The integrated pest management links are there. Plant quarantine, what is plant quarantine are there. Then there is a restriction committee are there. What is their role? What is their function? What the work are going to be there by the CIB? How they are going to be recommended the different type of the fungicides? How which type of the pesticides or the fungicides or any chemicals are going to be still banned, still going to be carrying. So these all are information we will get when we go towards the sites, because the site is very most important. Purposely, I have shown this site for the students, those who are working in the pathology. So definitely everywhere, every time, just you can check this site and try to understand about what recommended fungicides, what recommended type of the pesticide going to be recommended everywhere to control the diseases. Let us see now here, use the list, use the recommended fungicides are there. Let's see now here. So these are the just photographs I have been shown here. This is different fungicide, different pesticide, different in the form of powder, in the form of granules, in the form of liquid form. So while you are checking every pocket or every bottle, try to understand, friend, there is such a kind of labeling are there everywhere. Supposed to be in our home. If suppose any Brugedex bottle are there, in that Brugedex bottle there is also such labeling are there, because it is an indication mark how the severity are there, how the acute poisoning are there, how either it is a harmful, how it is deadly poisonous. So that would be recommended. I will discuss later on here how that the symbol shows and their different toxicity level. So this is the picture. It shows the different fungicides. Already I have discussed in India, 292 or 300 recommended fungicides, recommended pesticides are available. So here different formulations are available. Every packet, every labels, every waters, there is the formulations, there is the labels are there. Are every farmers, because we are all farmers, we are all the sons and daughters of farmers. Always pay attention towards this all pouch, all bottle, all pockets. There is a labeling should be in there, and that labeling indicates to use the proper fungicide, to use the proper pesticides of the chemicals. Here there is a mark is to be there. AF means it is a water soluble. It is a water soluble. And I have given one example, that is a quinolphos, that is 25%. So that is 25% AF. So that is should be converted in 100%, and thereafter you can go to be used. But our farmers are always faith on those who are sellers. That is a agrochemical sellers. Agrochemical sellers always told us that you should use the मराठीमध्ये आपण हे 2 टोपण वापरा, एक बकेट घ्या, त्या बकेटामध्ये 2 टोपण टाका, किंवा एक बकेट घ्या त्याच्यामध्ये एक डब्बा टाका आणि त्याला शेका आणि वापरा, अशा प्रकारचं सांगतो. आणि जेव्हा आपण अशा प्रकारचे केमिकल्स आपल्या शेतामध्ये विविध अशा प्रकारच्या वनस्पतीपट्या रोगावर जेव्हा आपण फवारणी करतो, तेव्हा त्याचा जो असर आहे, त्याचा जो ॲडव्हर्स कंडिशन आहे, तो त्याचा इम्पॅक्ट त्या ठिकाणी व्यवस्थित होत नाहीये. म्हणजे याचा अर्थ असा आहे की दॅट केमिकल, जसं एखादा डॉक्टर सांगतो की बाबा सायरप आहे, लहान बाळाचं सायरप आहे, त्याला फक्त 5 ml द्या, किंवा हे अर्धा चमचा द्या, किंवा 1 चमचा, ज्या पद्धतीचे फॉर्म्युलेशन आहे, ज्या पद्धतीचं जो प्रमाण आहे, आपण त्याला मात्रा म्हणतो, ते मात्रा जर व्यवस्थित दिला तर मी म्हणेन की ॲडव्हर्स इफेक्ट हा एन्व्हायरमेंट होणार नाही. बिकॉज देर इज अवेअरनेस शुड बी रिक्वायर्ड, there is literacy should be required to use the proper fungicide, to use the proper pesticides in the environment. So definitely that environments can be controlled, such of the hazardous conditions which are going to be evaporated in the environmental conditions. Then another is that is a DP, that is dustable powder. There is a dusting powder in the field. There is a carbosulfonate, there is 25 DS. So here labeling पण अपेक्षित आहे. Water soluble concentration, WSC, soluble in liquid. काय example या ठिकाणी दिले. Water dispersible granule, that is WDZ, ते या ठिकाणी एक एक्झाम्पल दिलं आहे. त्याच्यानंतर ड्राय फ्लोएबल DF, flowable is dried and extruded into pellets or the granules. Granular म्हणजे granule type, अशा प्रकारचे granules असतात. Active ingredients is applied to organic matter or vermiculite for application with the fertilizer spreaders. म्हणजे अशा प्रकारचे लेबलिंग मगाशी दाखवले ते काही पॉचवर किंवा त्या बॉटलवर किंवा त्या पिशव्यावर ते वाचणं आणि त्याचं कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन प्रॉपर करणं, त्यावेळेस आपल्याला त्या ठिकाणचं हे एन्व्हायरमेंट बॅलन्स करू शकतो किंवा प्रॉपर आपण त्या ठिकाणी डोस देऊ शकतो. यानंतर पुढचं जे आहे ते इमल्सिफायर कॉन्सन्ट्रेट, दॅट इज कॉन्सन्ट्रेट EC, दॅट इज कॉल्ड EC, दॅट इज ऑक्सीफ्लोरिन, इज वन ऑफ द एक्झाम्पल आय एम कोटिंग हियर. देन वेटेबल पावडर, supposed to be the biovisin or carbendazim, that is a venomil. So that this is a WP, that is a wettable powder. Active and inner ingredients are applied. Finally, ground clay along with that is carbendazim example. Last WP आहे, त्याला 100% करून घ्यावं लागतं. मी तुम्हाला एक्झाम्पल कशा प्रकारचं कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन रिकमेंडेड आहे आणि कशा प्रकारचं कन्वर्जन करायचं मी तुम्हाला मुद्दा सांगेन. फ्लोएबल, that is F. Then dispersible granules, DG, WSP, WSB, micro emulsion. So these are the all short forms and the conversions of that the appropriate fungicide, appropriate pesticide are different. म्हणजे पेस्टिसाइड बदललं, समजा लिक्विड फॉर्म मध्ये असेल त्याच्यामध्ये इश्यू येऊ शकेल, पावडर फॉर्म मध्ये असेल तर WP येऊ शकेल, किंवा ग्रॅन्युल फॉर्म मध्ये असेल तर G येऊ शकेल, परंतु त्याचं कन्व्हर्जन मात्र या ठिकाणी अप्रोप्रिएट करणं अपेक्षित आहे. म्हणून हे फॉर्म्युलेशन्स जस्ट ट्राय टू अंडरस्टँड अँड एव्हरी फार्मर्स कीप दॅट इन्फॉर्मेशन एव्हरीवेअर फॉर टू कन्व्हर्जन द पेस्टिसाइड. हाऊ टू कॅल्क्युलेट अँड यूज प्रॉपर डोस. एक मी प्रॉपर एक्झाम्पल, इथे बरेचसे रिसर्चर याला जॉईन झालेले आहेत, बरेचसे पॅथॉलॉजी काम करणारे मित्रमंडळ या ठिकाणी उपस्थित आहेत. त्यांच्यासाठी म्हणून हे खास मी सांगेन की उदाहरणामध्ये डास जो डोस आहे जेव्हा आपण मराठीला मात्रा म्हणतो, हाऊ टू कन्वर्ट दॅट WP or EC. Here recommended dose is that is a percent or ppm parts per million into water ml, म्हणजे either 10 ml or 1 liter water it may be, divided by available concentration of pesticides. म्हणजे त्या पॉचवर असणारे जे कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन आहे. सो दिस इज द फॉर्म्युला. डोस इक्वल टू रिकमेंडेड डोस percentage of ppm into water divided by available concentration of pesticides. An example is the wilt of sugarcane. Sugarcane like recommended केला fungicides आहे, recommended dose त्याचा 0.1% आहे, आणि वॉटर त्या ठिकाणी सांगितलेलं या ठिकाणी 10 लिटर म्हणजे 10,000 ml 10 लिटर म्हणजे 10 लिटर मध्ये 0.1% घेतल्यानंतर अशा प्रकारचा हा विल्ट ऑफ शुगरकेन caused by that is a Coleotrichum fulcatum नावाचा जो पॅथोजन आहे, इज अ डिवास्टेटिंग पॅथोजन for sugarcane, and now India as a leading country to production of the sugarcane. And whenever you visit to the field of sugarcane, so definitely 101%. So this diseases are going to occur. Any kind of variety are there. So here that the Faridabad committee has to recommend a type of the dose as per the Indian environmental conditions are there, as per the Maharashtra conditions are there. So this recommended dose is 0.1%. So this is a dose of biotin or carbon disease, that is a 50 WP. How it convert 0.1%? So this is the recommended dose into 10,000 ml, means that is 10 ml divided by available concentration of pesticide 50 divided by 50. And while you are going to be calculate this 0.1% into 10 liter divided by 50, in the sense you can use that is a 20 gram. Only 20 gram means to use 20 gram powder for 10 liter of water. So this is the appropriate concentration. That's my friend. म्हणजे 10 लिटर पाण्यामध्ये 20 ग्राम जर आपण त्या ठिकाणी हे केलं, डिझॉल्व केलं, आणि अशा प्रकारचं जर फंजिसाइड्स म्हणजे फंगल डिसीज आहे अशा प्रकारचं फंजिसाइड जर आपण वापरलं, व्यवस्थित वापरलं, अगदी सकाळच्या प्रहारामध्ये वापरायला पाहिजे. म्हणजे अर्ली मॉर्निंग किंवा जर सुशासाठी त्या ठिकाणी जोराचा वारा जर असेल अशा वेळी वापरणं अपेक्षित नाहीये. म्हणून अर्ली मॉर्निंग मध्ये अशा प्रकारचा वापर गरजेचा आहे. त्याचबरोबर त्याच दिवशी तयार केलेलं हे जे काही कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन आहे, सो यू कॅन यूज इन अ सेम डे, नॉट टू बी स्टोर्ड and cannot be used in the next day or further day, because the reaction should be different and their adverse effect in the environmental condition. So here friends, try to understand how to calculate a proper dose. So just I have given very good example for you students how to convert. बरोबर आपण जातो कृषी रसायनाच्या दुकानामध्ये, त्यांना सांगतो डब्बा किंवा एखादा टोपन सांगतो, बकेट सांगतो, त्या बकेटाला माप नाही, टोपनाला माप नाही किंवा डब्याला माप नाही, आणि अशा प्रकारचा आपण फंजिसाइड वापरतो. आणि ते फंजिसाइड्स कशा प्रकारचं वापरत असताना जेव्हा वापर करतो आपण तेव्हा मात्र त्या ठिकाणी एक स्टोरी सांगेन की एखादा आपला फवारणी करणारा जर एखादा नोकरदार असेल, तो नोकरदार त्याला काय म्हणजे पाठीवर फंजिसाइडचं हे ठेवतो, फवारणी नास्ता हे ठेवतो आणि फवारणी करतो. मध्येच एखादा फोन येतो, त्याच ठिकाणी तो फवारणी करत असतो. कारण जेव्हा कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन जास्त होईल, जेवढं सांगितलं कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन ज्या ठिकाणी जे समजा काय फंजिसाइड प्रकार सिस्टम फंजिसाइड किंवा कॉन्टॅक्ट फंजिसाइड म्हणतो, प्रॉपर त्या ठिकाणी वापर केला, त्या पर्टिक्युलर डिसीजच्या ठिकाणी वापर केला किंवा त्या ठिकाणच्या जमिनीचा वापर केला, तर अशा प्रकारचा ऍडव्हर्स कंडिशन होणार नाही. परंतु हा जो नोकर आहे किंवा फवारणी करणारा माणूस आहे, तर तो त्या ठिकाणी एखादा फोन आला तर तो कंटिन्यू त्या ठिकाणी फवारणी करतो, ऍडव्हर्स इफेक्ट होतो, प्लांटवर होतो, सॉइल मायक्रोबायोटा होतो, सॉइल इट बिकम इनफर्टाइल. देन वॉट एव्हर द soil microflora are available in that the fertile soil, then it become a sterile soil. There is the numerical forms of microbiota are going to be totally killed, totally inhibit. So therefore you should use this proper dose to control the diseases. how to give the trade name. This is trade name selected by producer. जे कंपन्या तयार करणे आहेत तर तो ट्रेड नेम देतो, केमिकलचे जे त्याच्या ऍक्टिव्ह इन्ग्रेडियंट्स नुसार त्या केमिकलचं नाव देतो, आणि जेनेरिक नेम किंवा कॉमन नेम जे आहे अब्रिव्हिएटेड नेम ऑफ ऍक्टिव्ह इन्ग्रेडियंट्स, म्हणजे त्या ऍक्टिव्ह जे इन्ग्रेडियंट्स आहेत त्याच्यानुसार त्या ठिकाणी नाव दिलं जातं. उदाहरणार्थ त्या ठिकाणी सांगितलं आहे डॅक्विलिट्रेक्स, then tetrachloro isothalonitrile and chlorothalonol. So these are the trade name, chemical name and generic names are there. So this is the color code are very most important. That is this classification of materials by manufacturers into various sets, classes, and separated materials on the basis of their the flammability, on the basis of their poisoning, on the basis of their hazards. Red are very dangerous, is the flammable, store in flammable liquid storage area, is very hazardous and kept under that is 100 degree Fahrenheit. So it's a very deadly poisonous. Then yellow, this yellow reactivity hazards म्हणजे त्याची थोडीशी प्रकारचा कमी, हा flammable जास्त थोडा reactivity hazard stored in an area from flammable combustible. Blue थोड़ा healthy hazardous, that is toxic, stored in secure poison area. Green general storage, substance with the help fire or reactivity hazards no higher than a 2 in the NFPA hazards category rating. And white, that is the corrosive hazards stored in corrosion resistant area. So these are the labeling. Try to pay attention to that labeling. Here, let's see now here how the labels are there, color codes and antidotes are there. The labels, their names, their level of toxicity, lethal dose, and these are the different chemicals. Here you can see now this is a poison, how it's shown this mark. This is a red label, extremely toxic, and lethal dose 1 to 50 milligram or kilogram. Then this is a yellow, there is a highly toxic. So this is the 51 to 500 milligram per kg. So these are the listed chemicals are there. Endosulfan carboxyl. So these are the listed chemicals, how it is highly toxic, how it is extremely toxic, then how it is dangerous. That is keep out of the reach of the children. Try to understand here. Blue label, moderately toxic. So their lethal dose is 500, 1 to 5,000. So these are the different listed chemicals. Number of lists are also available. Then this is the caution. This is a green label, slightly toxic. When you can use the in the minor form, so no toxicity should be more than 5,000 milligram per kg. So this is the labeling or color codes can be considered while you are applying the pesticides in your farm or for improving the crop yields. Now this is CIB approved. That the CIB or registration committee are going to approve some fungicides, then insecticides, bioinsecticides, biofungicides, plant growth regulators. So when you can visit to this site, so definitely you will get information about this the different center insecticide boards and registration committee. What recommended fungicides here? Let us see now here. When you can download it, you will get the list of all approved fungicides, as well as what kind of the brand of fungicides are there. Also, you will get the list. Then approved insecticides. Then what are the approved bioinsecticides, approved biofungicides or microfungicides. Then approved the plant growth regulators, plant improving regulators, as well as approved herbicides or weedicides. Also, there is a huge list. Just you can visit to the site. So definitely you will get all idea about this CIBRC approved pesticide list. Now, one more news has been published in the last month in March 23-22. The Times of India, that is the Pesticide Management Bill, that is 2020, is an opportunity to clean up India's food and farming system. And now up to 30, now the everywhere such systems are going to be there. That is an ecological balance system, ecological restoration system. So keeping this view, so in the Times of India has published the that bill. And now here, it is reported that the 8 states consume more than 70% of the pesticide used in India. And among that, already discussed, that is a paddy plants as well as the cotton plants are going to be used more pesticides. There are about 292 to 300 pesticides are going to be used, and around 104 still now is approved all over India. And now here, due to the crude waste as well as not the recommended dose as well as crude doses are going to be used. So definitely such pesticides should become a hazardous or poisoning, and the environment is become a imbalance as well as the humans are going to be more hospitalizations. And in this talk has to be given by Prime Minister in the last in 2019 independence speech, and he has been given different reports indicates regarding for the toxic pesticides, as the numerous reports indicates regarding to save the livestock as well as wild stock, and their main objectives are there regarding for this pesticide management bill in 2020. The sole objective of the statute to be stated in the preamble should be clearly limited to protecting human health and environment, as well as this second is, that is the CIB or Central Pesticide Board can register each and every pesticides in the form of all to controlling pests, mites, insects, fungi, bacteria, viruses. Then third has to be recommended here, that the logic here is, why should we have more and more chemical registered and used when it's not safer or it's any alternative exists? So this is the mechanism can be considered, and that the bill has been passed in the pesticide management bill in 2020. The fourth is, that is the applicant has to be specified whether a particular pesticide has been banned or saved or restricted, which are the restricted, which are the banned, has become under consideration, or those recommended or banned by who, class 1 and class 2 pesticides. So that is can be considered, or that is can be focused, that is can be published, and no use of such kind of the class 1 and class 2 pesticides all over world. Then every registered pesticide should automatically come up for review for everywhere, as well as the registration should be based on long term, and it should be transportable, biosafety, as well as it can be safely can use. Then while preparing this different of the pesticides, prohibit the hazardous manufacturers, as well as jurisdiction of the pesticides come under the CIB also. Then the another code has been passed from here, pesticide management bill. There is the it can be resistance or pesticide resistance and manufacturers can be outsourced to small units, should be made accountable and liable for any such impacts of compensation and remediations. 9, that is penalties for the controversies of the act, that is the Pesticide Act 1968. Those who are not applying, those who are not properly used, so definitely penalty should be given to them, those who are not applying the same. And that is the last code or status has been mentioned in this cycle, including disposable pesticide after all toxic substances. So this is the bill has been used, and now everywhere every farmers are going to use the system of the pesticide management bill. So such speech has been given by our Prime Minister Prime Minister Honorable Narendra Modi in the year of 2019. So what are the benefits of pesticides? Yes, we discuss more and more every survey, every case study, overviews. The people are going to be used. The pesticides are hazardous. Pesticides are very dangerous, poisonous. But already told you that the pesticides are given a rapid action. That is the primary benefit of rapidly killing the caterpillars as well as the pest insects might feeding on the crop plants. So therefore, This is benefit for controlling these all. Vector disease, what are the transmitters are there? What are the vectors are there from the disease transforming from one place to the next place, from one plant to the another plant? So that vectors can be controlled only by this such type of pesticides. Then additional and immediate productivity. I already told you that we'll get the rapid productivity. Then it will be get the quality of food. The free from pathogen food will get from that this while we are applying this different kind of the pesticides. Rapid production, and while the transportation, while storage, while the any spore complexes or any other places or building materials. So that building materials or transportation during that time, while you are applying the appropriate pesticides, is to kill these all pest, mites, insect, pathogen. So definitely it can be safe. So these are some benefits of while we are using the pesticides. Now, how it is hazardous of pesticides? So not going into detail because we have discussed more and more. Direct impact on human beings, not going to detail because it is toxic for the human beings, as well as this is the high risk while you are going to be spraying the sprays of fungicides, sprays of pesticides, formulations. Those workers are working for spraying the fungicides or pesticides, how they are going to be mixing, how they are going to loader in NASCA sprays or the sprays. So these are the all directly impact on the human beings. This, if suppose some workers are going to work for spraying the fungicides, and these are the different habitats of the sprays to use by chewing gums, chewing तंबाखू, जेव्हा तंबाखू किंवा एखादा गुटखा वगैरे खात असेल आणि त्याच्यासोबत जर एखाद्या अशा प्रकारचं जर फंजिसाइड्स किंवा पेस्टिसाइड जर मिक्स झालं तर डेफिनेटली त्याचा ॲडव्हर्स इफेक्ट त्याच्यावर होऊ शकतो आणि अशा प्रकारच्या शेतकऱ्यांना किंवा वर्करना त्याला बळी पडावं लागतं. म्हणून अशा प्रकारचा हजार्डस इफेक्ट हा सुद्धा त्या ठिकाणी होऊ शकतो. तुम्ही पाहू शकता या ठिकाणी 2 दिवसापूर्वीची बातमी आहे, दिल्लीमध्ये पिशवी आलेल्या दुधामध्ये त्या ठिकाणी युरिया आणि अशा प्रकारचा वॉशिंग पावडर मिक्स केल्यामुळे 2025 पर्यंत म्हणजे 2025 पर्यंत कॅन्सरने भरपूर म्हणजे पीपल्स त्या ठिकाणी ग्रस्त होतील अशा प्रकारचा WHO दावा आहे. हे रिसेंटची बातमी आहे, म्हणजे या ठिकाणी पाहू शकता तुम्ही. सो हाऊ दिस मिल्क आर गोइंग टू बी युजिंग, दिस इज adulterations of the urea as well as the washing powder, and due to that the urea and washing powders, the people are going to be suffer very dangerous disease for the human beings, that is the cancer, and up to 2020 shoes affected by the peoples. So such kind of the information recently published by WHO. So impact through the food commodities. So these are the food, different types of foods are also impact, that is the residues are present on that the foods when we can consume. So definitely we are going to be suffered by this pesticides. Then impact on environments. Here the pesticides can contaminate all over surfaces, all over part of this the planet, soil, water, turf, and other vegetations, killing different insects, weeds are toxic, the other organisms, some birds, fishes, beneficial insects, beneficial microorganisms, target, non-target organisms, everywhere that are going to impact on the environments, and therefore the cycling of the environments are going to be imbalanced, and definitely just the global warming are very threatened problems in front of us. So therefore every people, every part of the organisms, especially the human beings, are going to be pay attention to us to control or to use such kind of the pesticidal risk pesticidal parts. The impact on surface ground, you know that pesticide can reach surface water through runoff during rainy season, and that mix the different pesticides and contaminate that the water, and they are going to be widespread. And near about 90% of water and fish samples from all streams are going to be contaminated. Try to understand, friends, while we are using eating the fish. So pay attention towards that. The fish are also going to be contaminated by pesticides and going to be suffered, and we are going to be suffered by different diseases, just like carcinogenic diseases. And when we can consume such kind of the fish. Now here pesticides were found in all samples from major rivers, as well as agriculture products, urban land use influences. Near about 99% of samples are showing the such kind of the pesticidal residues. So also pay attention to us to that to control or minimize or indiscriminate use of the pesticides to control the various diseases. As per the report, 143 different pesticides and 21 products have been found in groundwater. So that is the research things, because that 143 pesticidal parts, as well as 21 transformation products are found from the groundwater, including pesticides from every major chemical class. So this is the impact on surface. Impact on soil contaminations, as well as soil microorganisms. So according to the scientist, that is Elaine Ingham, say that if we lose both bacteria and fungi, then the soil is become a degrade. But the soil is the numerical forms of microbiota, and when we can use the indiscriminate use of pesticides. So Dr. Elaine Ingham has discussed that soil scientists. So definitely we can use everything, because soil is the innumerable forms of microbiota. In microbiota, you use the enhancement activity or the growth regulating activity for increasing our growth regulators as a growth regulator for the crop plants. Overuse of chemical fertilizers and pesticides effects on the soil organism that are similar to human overuse of antibiotics. Then indiscriminate use of chemicals might work for years, then after it's going to stop in a benefit of soil microorganism to hold onto the nutrients. So therefore, that is alternative can use beneficial microorganisms or should be required to control or to stop the all cycling, as well as heavy metal solubilizing, phosphorus solubilizing, recycling, everything going to be adapt when there is presence of beneficial microorganism. Here adoption increases with decreasing the soil pH, moisture. Supposed to be this is the 240, that is तणनाशक म्हणतो आपण त्याला मराठीमध्ये, अट्रायजिन असेल, अशा प्रकारचे यूज सुद्धा या ठिकाणी जर जास्त झाला तर त्या ठिकाणचा तो पीएच लेवल हा कमी जास्त होऊ शकेल. तर हे सुद्धा या ठिकाणी इम्पॅक्ट त्या ठिकाणी होऊ शकतो. So this is the Pesticide Act 1968 and Pesticide rules, that is 1971, has amended by CBR. So this is what things should be focused to control these things. Focus on minimal use of pesticides. म्हणजे कमीत कमी या ठिकाणी कुठलाही केमिकल वापरताना त्या ठिकाणी कमीत कमी वापरलं पाहिजे. ग्रेटर से टू स्टे गव्हर्नमेंट्स, कारण हे अडॉप्शन हे इम्प्लिमेंटेशन ह्या रूल खाली, पेस्टिसाइड ऍक्ट रूल खाली किंवा इन्सेक्टिसाइड रूल खाली त्या स्टेटनी अशा प्रकारचं अमेंडमेंट करणं अपेक्षित आहे. पेनल्टीज इन प्रोपोर्शन टू सेल्स नीडेड, म्हणजे अशा प्रकारचं बॅन असलेले फंगिसाइड असतील किंवा हजार्डस पेस्टिसाइड असतील किंवा उघड्या ठेवलेले पेस्टिसाइड असतील किंवा अशा प्रकारचं समजा एखादा पेस्टिसाइड वापरल्यानंतर राहिलेलं पेस्टिसाइड एखाद्या नदीमध्ये टाकणे किंवा एखाद्या डोहामध्ये टाकणे, तयार टाकणे असं जर होत असेल तर त्या ठिकाणी पेनल्टीज ऑल्सो very important as per the action of the rules by the Pesticide Act 1968 and Rule 1971. Then pesticide promotion must not be allowed. म्हणजे promotion म्हणजे चौकडे पेस्टिसाइड वापरणं अशा प्रकारचं प्रमोशन किंवा त्याचं चर्चा होणे किंवा त्याच्या संदर्भातलं पब्लिसिटी अशा प्रकारचं अलाउड जास्तीत जास्त करू नये. फक्त एवढं अलाउड करायला पाहिजे की अप्रोप्रिएट फंगिसाइड्स, अप्रोप्रिएट पेस्टिसाइड्स कॅन बी यूज्ड टू कंट्रोल द डिसीजेस. देन क्लास 1 पेस्टिसाइड शुड बी बॅन्ड. क्लास 1 पेस्टिसाइड म्हणजे उदाहरणामध्ये सांगितलं तुम्हाला DDT असेल, एंड्रिन असेल, एंडोसल्फार असेल. सो not only this, but recently so many class 1 pesticides are going to ban, so that is can be totally banned and to be controlled for using. So this is farmers must be made aware of judicious uses, how to use the different concentration, different dose. So that is aware to give such type of the awareness for the farmers. Then no pesticide without personal protective equipment. While you are applying, while you are spraying these pesticides, proper doses, proper wearing, helmet, apron, hand gloves, then shoes, then sprayers, then appropriate mixtures can be used during this pesticide use under this act. Then phase out chemical pesticides as soon as possible. म्हणजे जास्तीत जास्त अशा प्रकारचे जे बॅन झालेले आहेत this is just so this is all about the hazardous and how to use, how agriculture changes the environment. So these are the all things already discussed in detail, not go in detail now here. So this is the major threats, problems are going to be continued while applying the different fungicides, applying different pesticides, deforestation, desertification, degradation of aquifers, salinization, accumulation of toxic organic compounds, and loss of biodiversity. So these all things should be happen while we are using the pesticides, while we are using the synthetic chemicals, while we are using the agrochemicals, while we are using the synthetic fertilizers. So when we can use the minimum or in that is a low quantity of these pesticides, so definitely it can be survived at the environment. Now, briefly, I'm going to be conclude that benefits of organic farming. That is my second aspect. I will go fast. Benefits of organic farming. So, organic farming, I'm not going into detail because ma'am has discussed more regarding for the organic farming. So, this is not skipping this thing that already discussed by Salil ma'am. Here now, what is the percentage used all over the world regarding for the different type of biopesticides or organic farming, organic fungicides? So most consumed biopesticides in India, agriculture as far as India is concerned, these are the different organisms. There is a Trichoderma viride, then Pseudomonas fluorescens, then nuclear polyhedrous virus. Trichoderma species, Trichoderma different species are available here. Trichoderma viride, Argianum, varians, Coingi, Pseudocoingi, Longibratum, Hymetum, more than 50 species of Trichoderma, out of which Trichoderma viride are given very results. Then plant products, based active, there is a neem based Beauveria baecina to control the insect, Azadirachtin, Verticillium, Bacillus. So as far as the percentage is there, so here the highest percentage, that is 26% of Trichoderma viride to restrict the growth of the pathogens. Now the percentage to be here, the Verticillium, here the Verticillium, that is sorry, that is Pseudomonas, then Verticillium lichani, then this is the Bacillus thuringiensis, then the Trichoderma, another species, then this is the neem-based activities, then Azadirachtin. So this is the different percentage has been quoted here while applying, but very poor percentage are going to be used to control the diseases by using the different biopesticides in India. Here I have discussed that is bacterial products or more products are going to use to control the diseases. Later on, that is the fungal products, that is micro-fungicides are going to be used. Then viral products and others are going to be used to control the disease. So this is the microbial products worldwide going to be used. Here, this is the about that. This is vermicompost, green leaf manures. Then crop rotation should be required, biological management, animal husbandry, biofertilizers, manures, green manures are going to use as a organic farming. Not go in detail because covered by Salil ma'am. Then need to organic farming because increase in population make compulsion to stabilize agricultural crops, but to increase it further in sustainable manner. Natural balance need to be maintained at all costs for existence of life and productivity. Agrochemicals which are produced from fossil fuels and are not renewable and diminishing in availability. These are the key characters for the organic farming. And now these are the biopesticides. That is a biological control or pesticide derived from such natural materials as animals, plant products, bacteria, certain minerals to control plant diseases and arthropod pests. Among biopesticides already discussed, that is the Trichoderma species, then NPV, then Metarhizium, Bacillus, Verticillium, the Pseudomonas are going to be used. And here is a list of the biopesticides, not go in detail, already discussed. Plant products, all plant families or wild plant families and their products in the form of the plant extracts, root extracts, or stem extracts, or flower extracts, or the fruit extracts. So definitely will give the result as the organic farming to control the pests, mites, insects, and fungi. Here already discussed fungi, trichotoma, then Vivaria is used to control the Pseudomonas, Rhizobium, Azotobacter, then Acetobacter, Azospirillum, blue-green algae, Azula are going to be used to enhancing the growth and productivity of these crop plants. And already discussed in detail about ma'am, that is the mycorrhizae. There is a biological control is used as biocontrol agents, as biofertilizers. Mycorrhizae are ectomycorrhiza, endomycorrhiza, which are numerical forms of microbiota. And there, the mycorrhizae are very much important symbiotic association with almost more than 90% plant families. So this is a mycorrhizae. And now, now a lot of companies are come forward to establishing the inoculums or establishing the biofertilizer companies based on mycorrhizae, just like a trichoderma, just like a pseudomonas. So these are the different companies that are available in the formulation forms. But now here mycorrhizae symbiotic association, because there should be required the inoculum, and such inoculum, indigenous species of mycorrhizae are going to be used as such inoculum, and inoculum when we can apply to the farmer, especially for the different crop plants. So definitely will that is positive solubilizing fungus as well as growth enhancing such fungus are there, used as a biological controls while you are applying earlier. So definitely it can control the diseases. So this is the biopesticide control in the form of fungi, bacteria, then some plant products as well as very most important biofertilizer is mycorrhizae, then vermicompost. So let us see now here how the concepts are here, how this is the photographs. There is a Rhizobium, Azotobacter, then Pseudomonas, blue-green algae, Trichoderma species, then mycorrhizae. So this is laboratory work in this picture, because especially I'm also worked on mycorrhiza from last 15 years back, and on single mycorrhizal study, my 6 students are being still awarded, and we are improving in vitro culture about the mycorrhizae. We are improving the inoculum, and we are doing the same practices in the farmer's point of view, farmers fields, and we are receiving very promising result from mycorrhizae as a biological control as well as biofertilizers. So these are the list of biopesticides I come under the Act of 1968. So this is recommended by the board of. So this is the mechanism are going to be continued as antagonistic, that is the antibiosis. The second competition, third amylonism, and parasitism and protection. So this is the antibiosis inhibition of pathogen through antibiosis produced by the antagonist, and here this is a streptomycin, penicillin, etc. Competition to organism to the utilize the same limiting factors. Amylonism, antagonist makes the environmental conditions. Parasitism and predator, that is antagonist directly attack the pathogens. That is supposed to be here in trichoderma, is supposed to be used by the nematode trapping phenomena. So this is their respective mechanism are there. So let us see now here how the pictures are there, how the colonization of mycorrhizal colonization. So here extra radical hyphae, how it producing within the root cells. So this is a hyphal colonization. Then this is the vesicular type of colonization found, and that vesicular colonization then producing the different types of spores. There is a glomus or rhizophagus, gigaspora, scutelospora, entospora, sclerocystis, or scutelospora. So these are the different spores are going to produce. Or when we can collect the trap culture or monoculture, and we can multiply it, and when that multiplied species or monospecies we can apply in a farm of this, so definitely we will get the good result, good enhancement, and we are receiving very good result during my student research work. So this is the arbuscle, how it is formed arbuscle. This is a arbuscle are of two type definitely. So this is the arum type of arbuscle, the tree-like projections are forming, and Paris type of arbuscle. This is not but this is a coiled structure that is called Paris type. And now here I'm showing the arum type of arbuscle. So very good pictures we have been issued from our laboratory. So this is the some species we have been issued or isolated from our black cotton soil of Maharashtra, black cotton soil from Marathwada region of Maharashtra. Just a few and good pictures I am going to show. His Acrospora solidia. Glomus aggregata, Cordospora solidi, our firstly reported from Maharashtra, and secondly reported from all over the world. Then Sclerosis clavisporum, Gigaspora gigacia. So this is a very common species which are found from our region. So this is some how these air species are going to restrict the growth of so these are some references. I'm not going in detail. So this is how the commercial biopesticide produced by different names, the biological agent, target pathogen, not in detail. There are also different companies, their trade names, biocontrol agents, how to control which pathogen or control by these different biocides. So these are the different plant families. So this is Asteraceae apodaceae. There are about number of plant species, 70 plant species. Asteraceae is a huge list of that. 70 plant species of Asteraceae belongs to the Asteraceae family are going to be controlled. They restrict the growth of pests, restrict the growth of mice, insect, fungi. So this is our very good pictures to how the growth are going to be restricted by the trichoderma. Let's see now here. This is a biopolaris tetramera, Alternaria blueceptata, Microbial Activity, then that is Leucodium candidus. So these are the species. How the growth are going to be restricted. Let us see now here by the trichoderma species, Trichoderma viridi, Trichoderma pseudopoingi, and that shows very good results. Here also shows the same result by the trichoderma, and not going to detail. So here good pictures how they restricted the growth of by trichoderma. Here also, let's see. Now here the principle of organic farming that is based on the principles of health. Good quantity of the organic agriculture should sustain and enhance the health of soil. Then second is ecology. The organic agriculture should be based on living ecological systems and cycle. Work with them. Then fairness. That is organic agriculture should build on a relationship that ensure fairness with regard to the common environment and life opportunities. And fourth principle, that is the principle of care, that is our duty to care of these all organisms should be managed in precautionary and responsible manner to protect the health and well-being of current and future generations, and also for the future environmental conditions. Then these are the some characteristics. Now go in detail about this, and these are the constraints of the problem while you are using the biopesticides. Not immediately effective, may take years and years. Time will be taken. Inconsistent eradicative effect, not continued that eradicative effects are there. Biocontrol agents unknown for many pest species. Then doesn't always work. Then unknown about interactions of microorganisms in the soil, plant, spots, etc. Then what are the benefits? Protects environment through elimination of unnecessary pesticide applications, improves profitability of productivity. Then residue risk of crop loss by pest. Then no adverse effects to the environment or plant or soil. Then stimulate plant regulators, secreting some enzymes, growth hormones for productivity. Secret fungicides and antibiotics like substances, and solubilize and mobilize the nutrients which are helpful for growth and growth productivity. And lastly, that is eco-friendly, means without any synthetic chemicals, non-pollutant and cost-effective methods. So this is very most important for while you are using this different type of biopesticides as a concept of organic farming. And this is the conclusion, that is pesticides are often considered a quick, easy and inexpensive solutions for controlling weeds and insect pests in urban landscapes. However, pesticides use comes at a significant cost. Pesticides have contaminated almost every part of our environment. So therefore, there is need to be appropriate amount, appropriate pesticides, appropriate techniques, appropriate work should be required to control or keep the balance environment. Pesticide residues are found in soil, air, every part. So therefore, while applying, to take proper attention. Pesticide contamination poses significant risk to the environment and non-target organisms. And contrary to common misconceptions, even herbicides can cause harm to environments. While we are using the weedicides or herbicides, they are also posing some problems to the environment. And mycofungicides, mycoherbicides, mycoinsecticides, that is very helpful as a fungal biofertilizers, as well as to control BCA or that is biological control, minimize the use of synthetic chemicals, fungicides and chemical fertilizers, and use lastly the biopesticides in the form of mycofungicides, mycoinsecticides, mycoherbicides, antibiotics can be used to control the eco-friendly approaches to control the pest management, except the use of broad spectrum of that is a systemic or non-systemic or synthetic or contact pesticides or systemic fungicides. Now here, lastly, I'm giving such a message to all over those who are the farmers. We should all remember that we need healthy environment in order to have healthy and happy peoples. Is when we can keep the environment balanced. If not, the problem in future not clearing the global warming, that is the ozone deplections. So definitely we will be healthy and happy. We live in last some future, some decades. So this is the message to be provided to all over those who are listening, those who are learning, those who are farmer are applying these pesticides as well as instead of pesticides are going to be that is the biopesticides. And I'm going to give the thanks. First of all, I'm thankful to the organizer, especially the my friend Dr. P.D. Deshmukh sir, who invited me and give a very wonderful topic for share with you for discussing about the biopesticidal impact on this environment and what are the benefits of the organic farming. So as far as my knowledge from last 24 years, consistently research, and during this research, I have focused on as far as whatever the practices I'm going to be done in my laboratory. Especially, I'm working eco-friendly approaches only. But while we are using eco-friendly approaches, just well, I'm trying to what impacts are the different pesticides while to control the fungi. So particularly, I'm working in fungi. How to control the fungi by chemical pesticides or chemical fungicides. Later on, my next objective are going to be carrying how to control that fungi by using different biopesticides, plant products, fungal products. Then this is a bioproducts are available. So such work are going to be carried, and now has given a very good topic for discuss in this virtual conference. So very much thankful to the college, this college principal, as well as the organizer, as well as the convener from the J. Bani Sevabhavi Sunstas late Shankarao, Gutte Gramin Arts, Commerce and Science College, Dharmapuri. And especially I'm thankful to the University Grant Commission. I have completed already, Dr. Sanav sir told me that during my introduction, I completed 5 projects, out of which 2 projects, major project from UGC and DSC HRB. I'm very much thankful to this funding agency constantly motivate me and funded up to 50 lakh, up to 20 lakh. And due to that, I have carried my research work in even Nadur is very Gramin or very small place, but I carried this work. And also very much thankful to my PhD students consistently working in the field of eco-friendly approaches for the management of plant diseases, and especially the biopesticides. And very priorly, we are working in the trichoderma and mycorrhizal. So once again, I am very much thankful to all of you who are sustaining me last 1 hour and listen carefully and keep this all information and carrying your research further. Thank you very much.
Dr. Bhai sir, thank you very much for sharing your research, for enriching our knowledge, for enriching our insights. Thank you very much for that.
Let me inform all the participants that the certificates will be sent to your respective mails within 2 days. We have got more than 60 research papers, and we are going to publish them in a peer-reviewed journal having 6.24 impact factor within a couple of days, and you will get the copies of the same. Now, I request the man, the head department of botany of our college, the man who works continuously for betterment of our college, who continuously works for the betterment of our department. He has already organized 2 workshops. He has already organized, I think 2 years ago, one national level event at our college, and it was a successful event. Now, he is behind the organization and success of this conference. I am going to hand over the mic towards him, Dr. P.D. Deshmukh sir, Head Department of Zoology, to give vote of thanks. Dr. P.D. Deshmukh sir.
Thanks, Mamuri sir. Good afternoon to all. I am Dr. P.D. Deshmukh, Head Department of Botany. I have come before you to extend vote of thanks. First of all, I would like to express my deep sense of gratitude towards Professor Dr. Shalini Rawat, who is with us from Uttarakhand and who has delivered very studious speech on the main theme of the conference. Thank you very much, ma'am. Then I would like to thank Professor U.N. Bhale sir for his significant contribution to make this conference successful. Likewise, I extend deep sense of gratitude towards our founder president, Honorable Dr. Shivajirao Gutte Anna, for his inaugural speech. I am really thankful to our dynamic principal, Dr. P. for his cooperation. I would like to thank all participants, my colleagues and technicians for your presence and help. Thank you all. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Okay. Please. Good, sir.